And you can take a selfie.
All right. So the Anarchs are streaming into the room.
Death to the elders!
For the death to the elders. Carrying the ghoul's head. One of them's carried the ghoul's head on his hand. Dudes with swords and crossbows. And for the first time, I think, since you have been in Transylvania, I'm going to call for an initiative roll.
What? How do you roll initiative?
Good question.
The way you roll initiative is wits plus dexterity plus 1d10. So add your wits and your dexterity together and add 1d10. And the way I'm going to do it is instead of trying to like break everything up, I'm just going to take whoever wins and they get to go first. And then we'll go clockwise after that.
I got a 14.
So wits and dexterity plus 1d.
Just take the numbers from wits and dexterity and add them together.
Do
And then roll 1d6 and add that number to the total.
You mean 1d10?
1d10. I got my dex and my
So you add
6
the numbers
mixed
together?
up.
Don't roll the pool.
Yeah, just roll one die.
Roll one die and add the number of dots together. So your dex is what?
4.
And your wits?
3, so 7.
So add 7 to a d10.
Oh,
Yeah.
13.
I got a 14. What did you get?
I think John got it.
19.
Okay, so we'll start with Pax and just go around in a circle.
So as I recall, we were not far from the door.
We were standing by the table.
They're going to get a little surprise action that's not going to affect any of you guys. When they come in, they scream death to the elders. They shoot a volley of crossbow bolts that will basically attack a bunch of mortals and a few secondary characters.
Okay. I'm thinking this is a bad place to be. Did you ever get to tell us about the secret exit?
Nope, but you better watch
we
me.
did share the information.
Did we?
I made sure. I listened to the last session on YouTube.
I didn't think I had, but
We got together and had a little confab, and we talked about what everybody had discovered.
I wasn't with y'all though. I was talking to Dracula.
You saw me Dracula when that happened.
Probably.
That's
Maybe.
the reason why I
don't know.
wasn't involved.
I just wanted to make sure that most of us had heard about it.
But I will be pointing him that direction pretty quickly, depending on where Dominus goes, which presumably will be through the wall.
Yeah, so 19, I am going to... So there's 2 other exits from the room, we remember from the map, the servants' doors.
Those were just an artifact of the map you chose.
Oh, okay. So there's really no other way out.
You only know of one exit.
Yeah, there's one way in, and it was through that door that was behind the bookcase. It's a secret ball.
Oh. All right. I bust out with my sword, and I'm going to try to clear a path for my friends and I to get out.
Okay. You gonna tear one of them up?
Yeah.
All right, let's go for it.
I got some multiple actions.
Okay, let's see what you got, man.
I'm going to... what is the max you can bump your physical stats up with blood?
2.
You have 2 per turn
But
now.
what is the cap?
Oh,
It's your...
Your max attribute.
Is it-
No, it's your max attribute plus...
is it 5 for
2,
us?
I think it is.
Plus 2.
pretty sure it's 5 for us.
It's 7 for
It's
us.
max attribute.
Oh, with blood.
Max
Gotcha,
attribute
gotcha.
plus 2. We looked this up.
Okay. I'm going to
5 is
reflexively
max.
spend the 2 points
7
of blood and give myself some dex.
All right.
And then I'm going to tear this guy up. So we got a dex melee to whack him.
Who are you going after?
The guy came in and screamed death to the elders.
All right, death. You're attacking death to the elders.
Yep, he
All right.
seems to be in the front, making a hole through him, probably the best. So I got 7.
We're not going to make a hole through him. Through the group, we're going to make a hole through him. Just like climb through the hole in his belly and get out.
Yeah, hey man, it works.
Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it work just fine.
All right, get out of the way.
There's nothing
guys, I
wrong
don't
with us
need-
after that. Yeah, I was looking at rituals. I'm like, nope, those all take too much time.
Rituals take time.
Yeah.
I got 6 successes and no ones.
All right. Let's see what this guy's got here. He's got this. He's got that. He's got this. And he's got that. All right. Oh. You have 6?
Yep.
He has 1
One
to defend.
success.
Yeah.
Okay. So that
Strength
being
plus
the
weapon
case,
plus
He's like blocking with the severed head.
he's blocking
which-
with his face.
He's blocking with the severed head, so it doesn't do much.
I guess I cut through the severed head.
We're good, yeah.
So
That's what I see happening. All right, let me see here.
6, 7 plus 11 is 12 dice for damage.
Might tickle.
And it's 6 to damage to get him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of lethal damage.
All right, he soaks 2.
He is injured.
He is injured. So he took 1, 2, 3. Okay. I better put this somewhere else.
So there's basically a whole crowd of people piling through that doorway, right? Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to drop 2 points into strength. I'm going to step over to the table. I'm going to pick up the ice sculpture, and I'm going to hurl it through that doorway.
What is your strength?
With that, it'll be 9.
That'll do it.
Want me to roll something?
Yeah, roll that strength, man. You gotta attack him.
And
Does he has the strong?
I'll even sink a point of willpower into that because I'm looking to slow him down and hurl them all into chaos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 successes.
All right. So, go ahead and remind me at the between every time I roll for one of these guys, they're gonna have to roll a dexterity check to stay standing as all this stuff comes flying at them.
As the ice sculpture shatters on the floor, a single bloody tear rolls down my cheek.
You just,
No.
no. Okay. There are guys coming at everybody.
How do we combat? I forget. It really doesn't happen all that much.
So
No, I'm kidding. We just go.
no. It's worth repeating because we don't fight that often. So the way I do it is you get 1 action to attack and you get 1 action to defend. And if you want to continue to defend, you have to keep taking penalties to defend. So the first time you get attacked, you need to decide if you're going to try to defend against multiple people or not. Because if you're not, you're going to get your maximum roll straight out the gate, and that's it. You're overdone. All right. Otherwise, and if not, then you're going to if you want to get ready for multiple opponents, then you have to take the penalty on your first roll, and so forth from then on.
All right.
So I'm just going to go around the table with dudes attacking you. They're flooding out. There's a dude shooting at you with a crossbow, but he's got to roll his dexterity to stay up because he is fucking around with fucking ice all over the fucking place.
Gotcha.
So the ice is fornicating on the.
What?
This is me shaking my head in dismay. He does not stay up. Second guy for you, Jakku. He stays up. He's going to try to shoot you.
My defense is dexterity and
Athletics.
Yes,
Athletics.
dexterity and athletics.
the penalty is +1, -1, like we were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, it's +1 to the overall difficulty. The
-1
roll
to
and
the
-1 die.
Yeah. And the difficulty is just 6, right? Normally.
Normally, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The way the game's written, there's different difficulties for different things, but I just kind of equalize it unless you're doing
Pretty much if you're
something
doing
that I think is harder.
if you're doing a maneuver, it's higher difficulty.
Yeah.
If you're just doing a basic attack, dodge, whatever, it's just gonna be 6.
Unless it's like a super exotic weapon.
Sorry.
Let me. I'm just gonna dodge the 1.
I'm gonna need that book you're holding.
I got 1 success.
1 success.
Yeah.
Okay. They got 2. $349. All right, you're going to take 1 lethal damage.
3 soak.
You take no lethal damage. All right. Evan, you were last by the door or by the table?
I think it was by the table.
All right, so you got a couple guys trying to close with you, and then you have one fella that's trying to shoot at you.
Hey-ho.
You gonna defend or you gonna take it?
Might as well try and defend.
Okay.
What is it again?
Dexterity and athletics, or melee if you have a weapon. No, I would say just athletics because it's crossbow.
Yeah.
If you had something to block with, you probably know. Like if you got like a tape, like right under the table.
Yeah,
or
a
something.
shield or something.
Or shield, yeah.
3 successes.
All right, you are not struck. Pax, do they stay up? No, homeboy falls on the ground. Second dude. Second dude does not fall on the ground. 1, 2, 3. 6. He's gonna shoot at you for nothing. He misses. Lay fall. Okay, yeah. You are shot at for 2.
I will attempt to dodge.
Oh, I see a 10.
Yeah. Well, there were 2 10s. I bumped it. 4 successes. Yeah, he didn't hit me.
You got it, I assume. Yeah. You got one more guy trying to do the do the same. Nobody's in melee range yet. He stays on his feet. Whoa. 8 to shoot you with crossbow.
Damn.
Okay. I guess I'll take a penalty to try and dodge that too, right?
Oh, you would have had to have dodged starting the previous time.
Okay, I didn't realize there were multiple people shooting at me or whatever.
Yeah, everybody's got multiples coming in.
No, I mean, I thought you said one of them fell down and the other one... Never mind. I didn't realize I had a third one.
Yeah, there's a third one.
Okay, sorry, I didn't...
They're all over the place, and I'm mixing up the numbers.
Okay, let him...
Roll with a -2 dice plus 2 difficult. I ain't worried about it. I ain't got hairs to split. This ain't no
8 and 9.
tactical game.
8 and 9.
8 and 9. Okay, he got you.
The chalice is not out.
The chalice is not out. He does 2 damage.
Oh my.
Oh, here.
Okay, I don't have.
He actually did damage to me.
What?
What is
Yeah.
wrong?
Really?
I rolled 3 1s.
Oh my gosh. Well, ones don't cancel successes. You know that, right?
Not to soak.
in
Not
that
on a
case,
soap.
in that case, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, on a soap, ones don't cancel out successes, and 10s don't explode.
Never mind, because I had a 6
All right,
and
you're
a
fine.
7
Yeah,
and 3 1s.
I was like, what? This is crazy talk.
That's no way.
That is also true with damage, right?
Huh?
That's
So,
also true with damage.
Yes, it's true. Like anything affecting damage. So damage.
so his
and
crossbow bolt bounces off my stone-like hide. Yes.
or it just gets stuck.
Yeah, it's stuck.
in
It
your
just
main
gets
purse.
stuck, and you're like,
Completely
whatever, dude.
superficial.
You like build up a collection. All right, you're up.
First thing Jakub
You're
does,
standing off to the right of the central door, with.
looking at it, yes.
Yeah. Well, if you're looking at it from the south of the map, then it's to the left.
Yes.
But facing the door, it's to the right. And you're standing over there with Dracula.
Yes. The first thing I do is shout in Chinese that the Ventru Lord knows the way of escape. Chase him. To my party mates.
Oh wow, yeah, that's super smart. Because you learned China when you guys went to the Middle Kingdom in the adventure before the recording,
Hell yeah.
when everybody learned Chinese, and there's no way a bunch of wacky Eastern European lords know even. They probably don't even recognize that you're
That you're
speaking.
Yeah.
Like,
what
what
is
is
that
that?
gibberish?
Why is someone singing?
What is that?
I don't understand.
Chittering sound coming out of this person.
What is that? Magic? It's gotta be magic.
Well, and then so step 2 then is to make magic. So I am going to
why not?
do the Obtenebration 2, which is making a big ol' cloud of fun.
Yeah.
of fun.
What is the width of this room? Out of curiosity.
What are you trying to?
Well, I'm making a big dark circle. I just want to know how much dark circle I get
Well, how much do you
relative
get?
to it. It depends on the number of successes. I just want to know where I want to position it. So I mean,
Safe bet would be to position it on the door.
yes, but more than that.
I thought it was centered around you.
No.
No. Okay.
No, it's within 50 meters, and it's 10 meters plus more for effect.
Okay. Yeah.
10 meters
dice.
is huge.
10 meters is huge, dude.
Diameter. But I figure we're in a big old room, so
You're
I
in a
figured
pretty
it was,
big room, but it's not that
That's
big.
30
not
feet
that big.
across. That's
Yeah.
as big as this.
That's why I ask. So
Yeah.
there's a good chance I'll get everything because I'm rolling 8 dice. So. But it is difficulty 7, which means that's already nothing. Cool. I might not get anything. Yeah, no, I got one. So I got my 10 meters. So yeah, we're in the northeast corner of the room.
In the northeast corner of the room,
Not in the corner, but like covering that escape route through that.
where Ventilus is, so nobody can see him now.
You mean
Or
Douglas?
Dominus, sorry.
Yes, but they know where he was.
They know where he was.
Right.
Okay, so you put a big obtenebration bubble
Yeah,
on top of
towards,
Dominus.
not on top of, but in that direction. Like I'm covering my escape in that direction.
So you're putting one like kind of between the plus sign of the table? More so?
Yeah.
Okay, so not on top of him.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Noted.
He happens to be in it, but it's not necessary.
No, I don't think at that point he probably wouldn't be in it. If he
Oh,
puts it
okay.
right over by the corner of the table, he'll be
Yeah.
just on the outside of it.
Yeah. I will spend. I don't even think that costs blood. So
I don't think it does either.
I'm gonna get myself some dexterity points too.
Parliamentary point of procedure. I'd like you to get your circle area of effect template out and figure out just who that
No,
covers.
none of that. No.
Oh, wait, this isn't that game.
No.
Screw that game.
None of that. No.
And then, yeah, grabbing.
I tell you what, though, even if it was that game, I'd be like, put a Coke can on the map. All right, that's where it's dark.
Yeah. Draw a rough blob. That's where it is.
Yeah.
In ICRPG, they're working on a new like distance standard, and the standard is like I think it's I can't remember the middle one, but it's like it's quarter Coke can banana.
Ah, nice.
Those are the different ranges.
The range increments are
The
called.
range increments are quarter Coke can and banana.
The range increments are aki, aye, aya.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Here, there, way over there.
Yeah. I support this.
It's Tasha's turn.
Well, and then we'll start. I'm like, move, Dracula, and we start moving that direction.
Okay, which way you going, around the table or over it or what?
North side of the table.
Going around the north side of the table. Okay.
So I hear Jakub yell this. What did you say again?
I said the Ventru Lord knows the way of escape. Chase him.
Okay, so I go and chase after, is it Demerit?
Dominus.
Dominus.
So I go and
He does dominate, so he's Dominus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
Watch him. See
I
how
hear
way,
Jakub
yeah.
and I start chasing after him.
At current, as you like gaze over that direction, start moving that direction, Dominus is just sitting there.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
He may not leave.
He's just sitting
Yeah, okay, well, I'll watch, I'll keep an eye on him. And I guess try and fight these other guys.
there. You're gonna try and fight a dude instead.
I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
You gonna Hulk out? Everybody knows you're Shemisi. You know you want to Hulk out.
Not yet.
Okay.
She's nasty.
I can do other things.
Hulking out is fun though.
Yeah, but her dress is really nice, and
That's true.
Yeah, she brought her nice dress.
she brought her
Unlike
nice
me, her
dress.
clothes don't shift with her.
No.
And you know, when was the last time this dress was dyed?
I mean,
This
this
for
is a
that.
nice dress, and then there's
Go for that marbled look
my husband
of bloodstain.
gets all the silk he wants.
What would you like to do?
I don't know yet. I can't remember which aspects it is, but like putting ideas into other people's minds, saying, "Why would you hurt a woman?"
4 or 5.
I can't remember.
Auspex is 194.
It's not. That's not quite the same as dominate.
No, I think it's supposed to be a suggestion.
I think it's just
Auspex
communication.
let you do that?
No, I think it's just communication. I don't know. We'll find out. I was wrong about these books once today. It could happen again. Man.
You only read every single vampire since it came out.
Yeah, no.
No, the seer now bridges from simple observation to manipulation of the thoughts and minds of those around him. She may glean secrets buried deep in the minds of others and even implant notions that her victim perceives as alien and often unknowable.
Yeah, I would say that's something that's going to work over time.
Okay, well then I guess I run somewhere. I don't know what to do.
You follow Jakub.
You could stab the crap out of somebody.
With what?
You carry a dagger on your belt all the time. There's one in your picture, for God's sakes.
Okay, I try and stab somebody.
Okay.
I don't know.
You don't have to. I'm just letting you know that
I don't know what that is.
a dagger.
Dex plus melee.
Yeah, you would roll Dex plus your melee, and then whenever you roll your damage would become lethal, and you add 1 die.
I don't know.
All right, you close in with a guy and stab the crap out of him.
Sure. I don't know what I'm rolling.
Did you get one?
I don't know. What number am I trying to...
6.
And I get 3.
3. All right.
Yeah.
He's got a roll to actually have stayed up when the ice was a thing. He succeeds. He's going to try to defend himself. Oh shit, he does very well. Oh shit, he does really well. So yeah, he manages to thwart off your attack just like by virtue of the fact that his sword is longer and he's kind of manages to swipe at all your attacks to where you can't get one in real good the way you prefer.
Okay.
All right. So one of the guys who is runs up to Ventilla and totally just skewers him through, puts a sword right through his chest, and then it's like some invisible rope pulls him into the air and then just rams him head first into the wall like 5 times until his head is nothing but a bloody stump at the end of his shoulders, and then he falls to the ground and crashes into some furniture.
To be clear,
No, not Ventilla.
Oh,
the
the
dude
guy
who stabbed him.
Oh. Yeah, don't mess with that guy.
Are these all vampires that are attacking
Oh
us?
yeah.
Okay.
I assume so. Just making sure.
Yeah. They all got fangs and stuff. They're not hiding. They got their game faces on.
I spent a point of willpower.
All right.
These should be regained by now. Okay. And putting all of my majesty into it, tell this horde of anarchs to drop your weapons and cease these hostilities. And if they wish to do something else, they need to make a difficulty 8 courage roll.
All right.
Well, it's his turn. They can do it on their turn, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking to see what they got. Keep it in mind.
Can I whip this dude's ass while
That
as
was
well?
equipment. Does that that takes an action, doesn't it, to declare all that? What's it say?
so you actually
The system.
To activate a discipline like that?
Gotta look at my cheat sheet.
Yep.
It just says no roll is required on the part of the vampire, but she must make spend a willpower point. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about kind of action it is, so I'll leave that to your.
I think doing something that
Probably an
dramatic
action.
is an action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay.
So the guy that shot his crossbow at me
He's in the
Shoots
process
it.
of dropping it to get his sword out.
hits. It skips off my shoulder. I glare at him. Eyes burn yellow. Claws come out of my fingertips. I let out a deep throaty laugh and charge straight at him.
Awesome. Get him, man.
I'm going to put in the dex and the point for activating claws. That's a lot. That's a 7. So 6 successes to hit him.
Okay.
Get her.
He defends with 2.
So 4 extra successes. Six aggravated damage.
6 aggravated damage. He's gonna soak Jack and shit. So this guy that you just whooped up on, what's special about him?
He is dressed in peasant's clothes,
Peasants.
but he has on a really nice, like, noble's cape.
Stolen cape.
Cape thief.
He's stolen cape. Okay, so, and his 2 buddies, right, that are cruising along with him, like, as you're, like, laying into this guy, Buddy on the left steps like behind him and kneels down. And Buddy on the right steps to the right of both of them and whips up his sword like this as the guy behind your victim bows his head down and whoo, and decapitates the guy.
Well, okay.
Yeah. So,
He just killed his buddy.
he just killed his buddy.
All right.
Yep. So, floods of dudes coming at you. I'll let you guys know ahead of time so you can act appropriately. You're getting one attacker. You're getting two attackers. You're getting two attackers. We're going to find out.
Well, it affects everyone in the scene.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
we're going to find out.
Okay. If they fail to roll, they abort their intended action and even go to absurd lengths to humble themselves before the vampire, no matter who else is watching.
All right, we're staying
I
here.
think that's fine.
Well, I didn't have any weapons.
Yeah.
Aren't you lucky?
Well, I did say seesaw still.
What am I doing here?
I've learned to expect this sort of thing from you, so.
So, as you're coming around the table, there's a guy that comes running at you, and as soon as he hears Pax's voice, he just like stops and turns, and he's just like confused looking. And then you look back to see where you're going, and Morgan Zada is right here, not in your way, but like right next to you.
Who's that? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that person.
She's the
Oh, one of the Tremere?
the redhead or the deep brunette female Tremere character.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
you
yeah.
got dudes coming at you.
Probably has a reason to hate me.
Oh, he's courageous.
Ooh.
He is courageous. All right, he's got three. He's got three. He's got three. He's gonna try to whack you with a sword. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. You got two guys coming at you. You can max dodge on this guy and hope that the other guy fails his courage roll to attack you. Or you could start reducing your die pools for multiple actions. And don't forget, you can also spend your blood to improve your attributes.
How closely back are we?
Huh?
How closely back are we? Like, how close am I to her?
I imagine that you're on the other side of the table from her. Because you were over on the right side.
Well, we were all together when they burst in.
Right, but she was trying to run away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I split the. I would take that and take.
It's pretty easy. You just take your dice pool for your dodge, which is your dex plus your athletics. And then you're rolling against a 7 instead of a 6, and you have to subtract 1 die out of your pool. And then that continues if you want to act again, +1, -1, again, +1, -1.
Probably not a bad idea to reflexively spend 2 blood and make your dexterity 2 higher. So what is it right now?
Sorry about that.
No big.
Dexterity is 4.
So your dex is 4. If you spend 2 blood, it becomes 6. And then you can choose what, dodging or meleeing?
It's up to her.
Whichever's higher. Is your dodge or your melee higher?
I think it's equal. It's the same no matter what I do.
Oh, there isn't a dodge. It's athletics.
It's athletics, yeah.
Yes, and it's the same. Dexterity, athletics is 5. Dexterity and melee is 5. It's the same.
Okay. So that
It
means
doesn't matter what I do.
it's going to be 7 because if you spend that 2 blood, so you're going to roll 6 dice, and 7 is the number you need to hit on.
3 10s. And then, so 4.
Four.
That one was cocked, so roll it again.
Which one?
The one that landed on.
Now it's a 1, thanks. 3.
That's what you get for helping.
Try to help.
Yeah, well, you failed.
Hey.
Alright, he's rolling his damage here. He gets 1, 2, 3 damage. So that means you're going to roll your stamina. And for every success you get, you will reduce that damage.
Two 10s.
Alright, so you're going to take 1 lethal damage.
Was that 6 on that roll too?
No, yeah.
Because 6s are successes too.
Sixes are
I'm
successes.
gonna take nothing.
So you take nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. The next guy has to make a courage roll to keep fighting. He fails like a chump.
Good.
Yeah. So, you see one of these guys that's like climbing over the table, coming over to the northwestern side of the room where you guys are, where Dracula is, and he's coming in with this sword, and he has to make his courage roll.
Is the second one attacking me?
It looks like it. However, he fails his roll, and as he leaps, you see like gallons of blood just come shooting out of his chest into Morganzada's open hand.
Great. Nothing's gonna go wrong here.
Nothing's gonna go wrong here.
We're all fine here now.
Yeah. And it's your turn.
All right. So, is there anybody standing between these guys and that northeast corner?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is there a limitation on reflexive actions you can use to activate disciplines in a round? In other words, okay. I want to, because it is reflexive, spend a...
And I'm thinking 1, but reason.
all right.
If it's reasonable that something else could happen, I'll go for it.
It's a reflexive action to activate Serpent's Flesh, which is basically armor.
Mm-hmm.
And I spend a willpower as well, so it's not obvious.
Uh-huh.
I look normal. And the second point of blood I wanted to spend reflexively is just to activate celerity. Is that doable or no?
I think not.
Well, you don't have to
I
activate
think
celerity.
Yeah,
unless
you don't.
use it
I don't
for-
know that you have to activate celerity. That's why I was hesitating.
Okay.
You can spend a point of blood to add automatic successes to a dex roll. Or no.
Do we need
That's
to look
It's
at
the,
that?
it's the extra actions.
It's you have for each point of blood you spend up to your dots and celerity, you can take extra actions without
it's
penalty.
an automatic thing, so it shouldn't take any.
But it does add to your dex pool,
Even a reflexive
like
action.
flat out.
All right, so I'm gonna do that, so I can take an additional action. So, dudes that are standing around these guys looking threatening, I am going to start carving them to pieces.
Okay.
So, the one that attempted to stab Emmy. First,
Okay. How does this affect your presence?
it doesn't. Presence lasts a scene.
I'm going to say that if you attack one of these guys, that they are absolutely going to be able to fight back to defend themselves against you.
I think that dude can, sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
An individual who is attacked does not have to roll courage to defend themselves.
Seems reasonable.
Wait, I thought we were going. Why are you going?
Because I go first. Or we're just going around
No,
the
we're
table,
going around
right?
this table. Yeah,
Yeah,
he went on his turn.
She went.
I didn't go. I defended myself.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second, where'd my turn
You
go?
got skipped. So-
Yeah.
And she
Sorry.
didn't go either. She defended herself.
Oh, these are different.
It's all good. We're all out there.
You know what I'm doing anyway.
I had a bad
Actually, it
week.
may
I had a
change.
bad week.
We'll
man.
see. It's all good. All right.
Not really, but it's fine.
We'll get it.
I'll bet mine was worse. But while mine did have a high point, I did.
Mine had lots of sleep deprivation.
I didn't let an Xbox One at work, so there's that.
The circle of shadow starts to fade as I'm recasting that again. On myself directly. We're going to try that again.
Poof.
2. Two successes. So as it fades and then flows towards me, and even larger expands out towards me, 20 meteor radius directly on me.
Okay.
The feeling of the abyss filling us, all of our lungs, all of our eyes, all of our senses. It's like being a child in the darkness and being afraid of the dark is always there, present in your mind. Suffocating.
Brutal. Okay, Emmy, you can do a thing.
I'll probably just run over by Dom.
Okay.
Only does.
Yeah, I just stand next to him.
Okay. As you run over near Dominus, he looks at you, and he does a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just roll me your willpower against the difficulty of 10? One. So.
No, but I got a 1, so none.
Roll the 10 again.
You got 10?
None.
You go running in that direction, and as soon as he looks at you, you find yourself like screeching to a halt, and you cannot be bothered to go anywhere near that guy, and you are overcome with the desire to get as far away from him as you possibly can.
Okay.
I'm going to say that you still have some agency left in this turn, since you were sort of robbed of your turn in that regard. Would you like to do something else now that this has happened to you?
I guess I run towards the door then.
Want to run towards the door? That'll definitely get you into melees to wreck some dudes. You want to wreck somebody?
But if I'm already running, isn't that an action?
Oh, I'm going to say no. You will encounter guys in your running, and you can wreck them, or you can run past them.
Wreck a dude.
Sure, I'll try.
Okay, go for it.
Seven dice now.
Why is it 7?
Because your dex is 6 now.
Yes, but you told me to take one away.
You were defending before?
Yeah.
And you were defending against multiple people,
Yeah.
theoretically. So that's where your penalty came in.
The new round, that all goes away.
I'm too tired to...
I know that feeling, man. I'm
What
so
am I
tired
trying-
I jumped halfway into turns when I should have been.
It's just 6 is the goal. Was the,
No,
6, yeah.
I thought it was 7, because
That was the defending.
That's
thing
because
again.
when you're defending like that,
Yeah.
3.
3. Now he has to do what you did before. So he has to take one away because he's worried that there might be multiple attacks coming at him. And he is rolling against a 7. He's got 1, 2. And you got 2 or 3?
I got 3.
Okay, so you're going to take, you won. So you take all the successes you won by, which was 1. You add your strength, and then you add 1 additional die for your dagger. And roll that many dice.
Wait, your strength is what?
4.
So you're rolling 6 dice.
How am I rolling 6?
So you're rolling the number of successes you won by, which is 1,
1.
plus your strength,
There's 4. So
Right.
5.
plus 1 from your dagger. Your dagger gives you plus 1 damage. Because it is better than just your fists or your teeth.
6 is success on this, and you don't roll 10s.
4. 5.
And he is going to make his piddly as hell. He fails. Okay, so what is something unique or special about this guy that makes him stand out?
He's wearing a monocle.
You're some hot, high and mighty anarchs. I love it.
All right, he's got a monocle. All right. He just takes 5 lethal. You drive that fucking thing into his ribs and stuff, and pull that thing sideways, dude. And he just like his bowels start dropping out of his body. It's brutal.
You made a mess.
Okay. So I didn't have any dudes come after you, but dudes aren't going to come after you unless you attack them.
Well, I am now.
Yes.
So, dude with the severed head, is he still standing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So now I'm reflexively activating Serpent's Flesh, spending that willpower, and then I'm going to proceed to whoop off on him.
Good.
7, 12, 8, 10, 12. Shit. Dropping dice. And not where they're meant to be dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Those will cancel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of successes. You hit him.
Whoa. 7.
Yeah.
Man, this dude, this dude's all right with the sword that he's got. Man, he's boom, 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 boom.
Celerity. I hit him
comes.
again.
Here it comes. Here, now he's going to start losing it.
Blackwind Prana.
Uh-huh. No, it's not Black Widow.
No, it's not.
No.
It's kind of the same thing.
No,
It's
that's
not quite
disgusting.
the same thing.
It's not the same.
That's why you figured this out.
Yeah, that's what encouraged
You're
me.
like, holy crap, that was crazy.
Yeah. 4.
Oh, man. Dude, he defends for 2.
So he rolled 2 successes.
He rolled 2 successes.
All right, so 2 net then. So that means he's going to take 2, 4, 9.
We rolled 2 10s, man. Let's see how he does with this
Man.
next part, guys.
All right.
Oh, he's doing good.
How many do you soak?
2.
Takes 2 more.
He's going to take 2 more. All right. Now he's at a -2.
He's mauled.
So
That's
yeah,
me.
you're up, Layfar.
How many guys do I see back in this hallway?
A smattering of them.
5, 6.
Something like probably about 7 or 8.
Okay. And the one that beheaded his friend,
Mm-hmm.
what's he doing?
He failed the courage roll. He's just standing there.
Okay. Well,
I am derping. I did not roll enough dice.
Oh, next time.
Yeah.
I will sink that second point into Dex.
It's a dirt kind of night.
I forgot that.
That happens sometimes, doesn't it?
I forgot that I pumped 2 blood into my decks.
Oh, yeah.
I should have been rolling 2 more on everything.
Yeah.
I sort of grin at him and proceed to eviscerate him.
Awesome.
Make sure you roll all your dice because no retcons.
Yeah.
Retcons, or as I like to call them, time wasters. Ooh, I see a happy 10. It's a happy
5 successes.
Very happy roll 10.
And you were attacking beheaded his buddy, not
Yeah.
stolen cape? Okay.
Well, Stolen Cape's the one that got beheaded.
No, he's not.
No.
His buddy got beheaded.
The Stolen Cape was
Stolen
one-
Cape had 2 buddies.
Yeah.
One buddy kneeled behind Stolen Cape.
Ah,
And then buddy 2 cut buddy 1's head off.
okay.
Don't worry, Stolen Cape failed his courage roll too.
I don't really care about him. He's at like minus a bajillion.
Okay, so this guy that you're hitting right now, what's distinctive about him? Besides the fact that he beheaded his buddy.
He's got a really scraggly beard. Like,
Ragglebeard.
like, not even.
His name's Cliff.
He can't grow he can't grow a real beard.
Like,
Oh, neckbeard. Oh,
He's Cliff Clavin.
oh, he's neckbeard now.
You remember Cliff Clavin in the beard growing contest?
Yes.
That's
Whoa.
a Cheers reference for the children in the audience.
What's that? I'm
You
kidding.
don't know what I hope you're kidding. I'm like, dude. I know I'm old and
Dude
you're
just
young.
defended for 7 successes.
Jesus.
Christ.
Yeah,
Damn.
the way these
You're gonna go
guys are-
again?
Sure.
The way these guys are rolling, I'm glad that like more
Oh,
than
boy.
half of them are probably prostrating themselves before me at this time.
Yeah, right. You're a lot worse off.
Yeah.
It's like watching Adam Coble DM. He like always rolls like critical hits all day long, and Dungeons and Dragons
Okay,
when
so
he's
he's got a -1.
disgusting.
He's rolling against an 8 now. He's got to get 4 8s. He does not. He gets 1.
Did you pick up celerity?
No.
Oh.
I took a penalty.
You took a penalty.
So I got 3 extra,
You got 3 extra plus your
Okay.
strength plus your weapon.
which is claws.
Yeah. Now, does that give you a bonus or not? Just
Yeah,
gives you
+1.
+1 and
Those are
aggravated.
It makes it
Aggravated.
aggravated.
Yeah, it's aggravated.
I should be using those.
You should.
Yeah.
You have them.
They're real good.
I do. I got that Protean. Mm-hmm. But then I'd be using. Is that still melee or would it be
It's
brawl?
brawl.
That's brawl.
Yeah, I have 1 dot in brawl, so no.
Once you got him beat down, maybe you have more chance
5
against them when they
aggravated.
don't have any.
Yeah.
And he uses 1 fortitude. Ooh, we got a 10!
God!
So Neckbeard takes 4 aggravated.
He deflected a little bit of the damage with his beard. Neckbeard, or as I like to call it, neared.
You're weird.
So, between Emmy, this is my turn. Emmy, there's a guy standing next to the guy that you just, blue wormed and made his bowels fall over the place. And you see his buddy standing next to him just gets like these shadows just scoop up around him and then pull back, and when they do, they have these long strips of flesh that just go start peeling off of him deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until his legs and his arms can't function, and it's pectoral muscles are all ripped apart and his face is all ripped to pieces, his jaw gets ripped off, and he just falls over into this broken toy of a mess next to his buddy. And then
What is everyone else in the room even doing?
All of
Other
these
than
things.
Other than that, I mean, there's that. And
This is
then-
what they're doing.
And then
this is what they're doing.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy got cut. Yeah, no, that was them.
No, I get that. No, I get that. But there's a whole bunch more people.
Yeah,
Am I just not seeing what they're doing, or?
yeah, that's what's
Oh, okay.
happening right now.
It's kind of a mess.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess. There's a dude near the door whose chest just explodes from behind outwards like an eruption. Just his whole center torso just goes boosh and explodes outwards on top of, like spraying on all of his friends. He has this gaping hole in his chest and just fucking falls down on the ground.
Snake eyes.
Yeah.
Center torso critical. Engine.
Another guy near the door, just like he becomes pieces, like wedged slivers about yay big. His entire body become about like 6 foot, or not 6 foot, 6-inch wedges of meat that just go toppling onto the ground at once.
I remember when Thanos did that to Drax.
Yeah. So what you got?
This is the Tremere, I imagine.
Not yet. This is the Anarchs,
Okay.
and then the Tremere.
Yeah. When it gets to the Tremere, I just want to.
Okay, I'll let you know
a little
when
bit more flavor.
I want to let you know when it's Tremere.
Yeah.
So right now you've got Anarchs coming at you.
I'm in the darkness.
I know you're in the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah. They gotta roll their courage to do anything.
Yeah.
And they fail. You can feel Morganzada grab your arm. Mm-hmm. What do you do?
Yeah. What do I do? I want to pull away, but I don't think I can.
You feel a cold sensation on your arm.
I want to pull away
Okay.
as hard as I can.
All right. Roll brawl.
Okay.
Brawl and strength.
Yeah.
All the things you're good at, right?
Nothing.
You got no successes.
It's only 2 dice.
2 dice. I'm gonna say that it's only 2 dice altogether. Wow. Okay.
I don't do this.
Yeah. Like in my imagination, she grabs your cane arm, right, and she's just holding on to you, and that's the end of that.
So I'm curious, the obturnibration darkness, is it just like really deep regular darkness, or does it block sight?
It is the
it's
abyss.
supernatural inky black darkness of doom that cannot be seen through with eyes of the beast.
It does mention that people that have auspex.
Auspex is different.
Well, and I think it said other things like that.
Which Eyes of the Beast is basically...
Have a drop of 2 levels of perception. If you don't have that, 5.
Oh, okay.
That's what you're looking at.
So, like, if I was to look into it, it would be like, with Eyes of the Beast, it would be like Twilight, I guess.
Depends on your perception.
Like dim light.
Like, I actually don't really see out of it very well.
I think you would have to roll.
Yeah.
You can see out of your own obtenebration, no problem.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the thing.
fair enough.
Yeah.
If I went snake face, I could see okay because I don't use eyes to see.
Okay, Emmy.
But I'm not in it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Blue worm fails miserably. And yeah, he goes he turns and starts trying to scoop up his intestines and start trying to run for the door. Pax dude that you just attacked was
Maul.
Yes, was a death to the elders, right?
Yes.
He's going to try to whomp you right back.
Guy's actually
He's the main dude.
he's
He's the main dude.
he's pretty good, man.
He's got a -2. And then he's going to get you. He's going to swipe at you for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I will attempt to parry.
Mm-hmm.
Is he swinging the head at me?
No, he's not swinging the head at you.
Okay.
You drop the head. The head is on the ground.
Hooray. One, two, take away. Four. Five.
Okay, that's the end of that. Layfar.
How many people? How many are attacking you? Oh, you're rolling.
Yeah, I'm rolling to see if they're capable of attacking you. And he's at -2 dice. Yeah, that's 3. So Stolen Cape fails. And then Neckbeard also fails.
I turn to both of them as I see it. As I see them
It
struggling against the presence, and I'm just going to say, "You didn't think this out very well, did you?"
Oh, nice exposition. It is now your turn.
Yakub.
Let's rouse our beasts a little more.
Yeah. It's always fun.
I brought Dracula with me. At least last I knew, he's inside the darkness with me.
Yeah. I imagine you had him with your good hand.
Yeah. Still in my hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed. You haven't done anything about him.
Yes. I'm going to attempt to pull away again. With a few more dice this time. 9, 4, 10, 2, 3. So 9, 10.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right.
So that was your proactive action this time, was to get free.
Yeah.
You're good.
All right.
Okay, Emmy, what you want to do?
I go chasing after the guy with his intestines, and I use them to choke him out.
Oh.
That's messed up.
I know. That's what she would do, though.
Hey, you know what a great
Please do not take my comments or laughter as being in any way opposed to this course of action at all. I think it's fucking brilliant.
I'm so tired.
Dude.
When you said he scooped him up, I was like, well, I've already cut him out, but I might as well use him.
Use them. Oh, that's brilliant, dude. That's brilliant. Give me brawl and dexterity. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I've heard people threaten to choke another person on their own intestines or with their own intestines.
But okay, so like,
don't forget to add 2.
Monocle's taking 5 lethal, right? So he's got a -2. So he's got, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He starts with 9 dice. He's got -2 from his damage, right? He's got -2 more because he's literally holding his own intestines.
Yeah.
And he's going to do a full defense. So no more penalties for that. Okay, go.
What am I trying to hit?
6.
10s, come on.
7. Give me those intestines.
Okay.
So
this is going to be really dirty. This is going to be
Good.
Really,
She wants everyone
this is
to
gonna be
see.
really dirty.
She wants everyone to see what she does to this guy.
And it's probably going to happen. We're gonna make sure that this combat goes another whole round just so we can double down and see how this goes.
Okay.
Okay, so you take the number of successes
7.
you've got
Okay.
minus his 1, right?
Yeah, so 6.
Okay. You're gonna add your strength.
It's now 10.
Okay. Roll that many dice.
How much damage is a second intestine?
Now, each success is going to be doing 1. You're doing bashing damage,
Yeah.
right? But I'm going to say that if you can, because that's going to be halved. I'm going to say that like it's going to act normally. So if you double over on his damage, right, it'll start turning into lethal damage. In addition to the fact that if this roll can do 7 bashing damage to him in one roll, you will cut his head off.
Okay. Perfect.
Like a guillotine.
Yeah, that's what you wanted to
I know,
do.
that's exactly what you're trying to do.
Yep.
Well, yeah, he's a vampire. Choke him out, he can't do anything.
No. Cutting his head off on the other hand.
Yeah, that would.
That means you would have to be doing 20 damage in one, or not, but not 14 damage in one shot to decapitate him right now.
8.
8. Okay, you're not going to decapitate him,
That's
but
okay.
he's going to take 4 bashing damage. He is right now at 4 aggravated, right? So he's going to take 1, 2, 3, and that will bring him to what would be the incapacitated stage. Now he has to roll his stamina to basically like keep functioning and stay awake. But he has a -5 penalty to his dice roll. So it means he gets to roll 1 die.
To avoid going into torpor.
No, just to function. Like he doesn't go into torpor yet. This is just to like,
Breathe.
well, not breathe, but just move, just do anything,
Like
right?
try and-
He's just so like he takes so much damage that it's just like, what the fuck just happened to me?
Yeah.
Humans pass out.
Yeah, yeah,
Vampires
yeah.
just go,
Yeah.
what? So he's unable to function. He still takes another damage, which makes this a lethal. And when it comes to your next turn, you can just put another loop
Yeah.
and do it again.
Absolutely. He's got plenty of long ones.
And he's going to
got
make this
small-
really horrifically feeble attempt to get away.
Yep.
It is your turn, Pax.
I am going to
Give me a sec. Something. How about? Yeah. As you're doing this, the entire central table in the room goes sliding sideways into the doorway and just crams itself and breaks the whole bottom extension of the door of the table as it crams its way through the door and then just pins half the people up against the wall in the process. Somebody did that. Go ahead.
Yeah, they did. Is Death to the Elders one of those people?
No,
Okay. I'm whipping his
There's
ass.
people pouring through the door, right?
there were.
That's what I'm saying.
Now
Yeah.
the door,
Ones that are
now
pinned
the
and-
tables.
They were having trouble with all the ice over there already. Now, now
that
they're going
it's
to climb
able.
over a table that's half wedged through the door.
5 successes to hit him.
5 successes to hit him.
To
He
sword
is-
him.
To sword. He was doing a full defense. -2. Oh. 1, 2. He defends for 2 successes.
3. Alright, he is going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lethal damage. As the melee continues.
He soaks 1. So he's got how many now? 3. He took
5,
2.
so 4.
2.
He was at mauled, and he just took 4 more.
How did he take 4? You did how much damage?
5.
5.
Yeah.
So he took 4. Okay.
Yeah. So that should put him past torpor.
Yeah. Well, he has to roll.
Yeah.
And once he gets his chance die. Nope. Yeah. What happens?
Decapitation, classic. No, actually, I was intending to I was intending to spin the celerity, so to get 2 extra actions. I'm thinking that first swipe strikes his left arm cleanly off.
Oh.
Second one, right arm cleanly off.
Oh.
Third one, decapitation.
Oh. Son of a bitch.
Sorry, Charlie.
So, Stolen Cape. He gets up and he runs over, like near the wall, kind of close to where the edge of the table is on the far side of the room, like the lower right side of the room or the south east side of the room. And he picks up one of the clay or porcelain lamps that are there, and he smashes it over his head and lights himself on fire.
Oh, someone told him to do that.
I know that hurts.
Yeah.
I've been there.
You've still got Neckbeard to contend with. Barely.
Knock him down, John. Won't
Does
be
he
long.
seem to be like when I told him what I said a minute ago? Did he
Neckbeard?
respond at all, or is he just like?
He's got a wide-eyed look in his face. Like he knows you're right.
Something weird's going on here. It's a shame, really, but sometimes a rabid dog must be put down.
Go for it.
Only 3 successes,
Neckbeard, you hit him for 1.
Okay. 5 more aggravated.
Yeah, he is fucking dead.
Claws fly out, penetrate directly into his chest and do the classic rip the heart out, drop it.
Fucking brutal. Nobody does anything to you. He's gonna struggle feebly against you with his strength and his wound penalties. Oh, you rolled a 10. And a 6. Roll your strength. Augmented.
What do you mean augment?
If you added anything to it, be sure
Oh
to include
no,
that.
just 4.
Roll it.
8, 8, 8, 2.
Yeah, he's entangled. All right. Who's on you? Nobody's on you because you just wrecked Death to the Elders. And nobody's on you because you just wrecked Neckbeard. And it is now your turn.
Where's this chick?
Where is she?
Is she still here?
She's like right there.
On the ground?
No, she's just standing here.
Okay.
You were
check.
standing about right here, and then you pulled away and took a step.
Yeah.
So she's right there.
Yeah, I want to circle around to the end of my bubble towards Dominus, but within the bubble.
Okay, but within the bubble.
Influence.
Okay. Is that all you're gonna do?
Bringing him with me, yeah.
Okay. Bringing Dracula with you.
Yes.
Rap again.
Oh, here comes number 2. I want to see this so bad, dude. I want to see this
Okay,
so
remind-
At
bad.
this point, I think you plant a foot against his back
Oh, probably.
for leverage.
Oh, with that big red dress on?
Yeah.
That is
And
with the
high
petticoats
heels with the
underneath.
petticoats.
You just pretend you're tightening the laces on your boots as tight as you
Check
can.
no corset laces, man.
Yeah,
Corset
there you go.
laces.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah. So brawl again. Plus, yeah. But you said dexterity. Okay.
No, you don't. No, okay. That roll was to grapple him.
Oh, okay.
He is already grappled.
Okay. So
He tried to get away. He failed.
Oh, so am I?
You are just
doing...
damaging him now.
So what is that?
He's going to try to take it, but you just rolling your strength.
Okay.
Now, if you want,
So just strength.
Yeah.
if you want, you can reflexively spend 2 points of blood to make your strength 2 higher.
Yeah, you can.
Add a few more dice.
Add 2 more dice to be exact.
So 2 more blood.
Yep. If you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want to tell you your business.
2, 4, 6. What number am I? 6?
Six, yeah.
It's not hard.
5. 5 out of 6.
Yeah. So he's going to take 5 bashing damage, which is going to have to 3 bashing damage. You need, or to 3 lethal damage. It's going to, or no, it can't, it halves first. Okay, so 5 becomes 2, round down. But it's 2 lethal damage. He's at 6 lethal damage right now, which is going to put him to 8, which means that you've tightened his entrails around his throat and are pulling them so tight that they're constricting through and cutting through the bone in the sinew and the tendons, and it just pops his head straight off.
Exactly what I wanted.
Awesome.
And I stand up and go,
That has officially never happened in one of my games before.
"You're welcome."
It's a landmark night.
You're kind of watching Gorgonzola, and you see her like, she raises her hand up like this, and the whole table raises up into the air and splinters into a bunch of pieces, like giant javelin shards.
Seen it before?
Mistakes.
Yeah. And then you see Celestus. Celestine, yeah, thank you. Not fist, but stars. Yeah. He raises his hand up, and these shards of wood just go flying at all the guys, all the anarchs on that side of the room. Get hit in the chest, the throat. Heads are cut off. Heads are split in half. It's over. Dominus lets out this throaty laugh. Probably the loudest thing that's been heard out of him the entire night.
I bend over, wipe my sword off on Death to the Elders clothing, whatever he has. This is probably has a traveling cloak.
Sure, we got one of those hoods, man.
Yeah. Sheath the blade. Someone is playing a game. I see no way these anarchs are foolish enough they could attack this convocation with as many elders as there are here and succeed.
I'm watching the room to see reactions, see what everyone's doing. What have they been doing?
It's obviously Dominus.
Well,
Well, he seems the obvious choice. Yeah.
he kind of has that.
Rustakovich pipes up. You call this success? These fools have broken on this meeting like waves on a cliff.
My point exactly. Someone is playing a game. As I said, there's no way they thought they could have attacked this convocation with any hope of any chance of success.
Him and Dominus, for the first time, both laugh together. And the whole room seems to relax a little bit when that happens.
Yeah.
And they're both shaking their heads. Gutka raises her hand. Mr. Pax,
Yes.
do you really think the Anarchs are that wise? Do you think that they don't live lives of crippling delusion and misinformation and hubris?
perhaps you're right. I did ascribe to them at least the intelligence of a common farm animal, but apparently I was mistaken.
I think that underestimating the Anarchs would be hopelessly foolish. After all, they did manage to kill 2 of the antediluvians, did they not?
Stanislaw goes like kind of marching towards the doorway, and he's got his sword. His sword is covered in blood.
By the way, I'm wiping my hands on the stolen cape.
Yeah. And he hacks a little bit of a hole get himself a little hold on the table and pulls a piece of it out of the way and heads out of the room.
Yeah.
Dominus, for the first time, speaks. I think, Sir Pax, that you speak truth. Perhaps not for these anarchs, but for others. Which is why it is most important that they be dealt with appropriately.
On that, I think we can all agree.
For once, the entire room agrees. Rustikovich pipes up. They will all die. Foolish as they are, their lives are forfeit. And they will die like the cattle they are. And perhaps some of them will be victorious. And perhaps could be accepted. Maybe even respected. But at that time, they would no longer be anarchs, would they?
You speak true, Elder.
No, says Dominus. They will garner support far greater through their destruction and martyrdom. They must be brought to heel. They must be controlled. And how do you propose to do that? Will there be a venture on every corner?
Do you put a leash on a rabid dog?
You see
No.
Dominus start to bristle up. Prince Otto starts to smear his lip a little bit. Gorgonzola shakes her hair. What about the bond? They could be bonded. They can agree to the bond or die. Oh, I assumed that it would be you that they would be bonded to, wouldn't they? You usurping witch! The vengeance of our people will be known, and there will be no coming to heel in legitimacy to your clan through this. No, I will have nothing of it.
Who said that?
This is Rustikovich.
Rustikovich, okay.
I'm trying to do Rustikovich, Dominus, but I know that's hard with the voice.
A bounty then upon them. Deal with them however you may. Kill them, bond them, dominate them, whatever.
Rustikovich, there is already a bounty on them in my land. Morganzana, as there are in ours.
Yet why do they fester?
Sneers her head. Alright, who's got Auspex? Okay. Eyes of the Beast affects sight, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Characters with Auspex, I want you to roll just your perception.
Auspex adds to that.
Yes.
Prospects adds.
973.
What does that mean?
Whatever your level 1 of Auspex is your Auspex adds to your perception rolls.
So take your aspect
So-
dots and add them to your perception dots, and that's how many dice you roll.
So 4 is 7.
Yeah. 9, 7, 3.
Maybe 6 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Just tell me how many you
do
get.
10s explode on this
Yes. The only time 10s don't explode is on damage and soak.
one? Okay. I got 4.
So the two of you can smell smoke.
Of course.
It's always smoke.
So as the room begins to titter into argument, Dominus stands and raises his hands out like this, and everyone stops talking. This has been a most enlightening evening, but I bid you adieu. And he just fades like a bad image until he's nothing.
This is no illusion.
I yell at Pax and Leifar. We need to get out of here. I smell smoke.
File.
Yeah.
There is a fire. Loud enough for the room. Reactions
Very,
from any of the NPCs?
Is there any windows in here at all?
Nope.
No ventilation of any kind?
Well, remembering what he said, I had the corner where Dominus was.
Yeah.
You head over to the corner where Dominus was?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody not?
No.
Make sure the son of the dragon is with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had him right next to him all the time. So yeah, you guys are pretty unimpeded. You could beeline over there, and you move the tapestry to the side, and there's just like a big opening, like another little small narrow hallway that leads out.
I go through it.
You can hear screaming and chaos behind you.
I'll be the last one out, and I'll turn to the room. There's fire. You should leave.
There's already chaos going everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They already know.
Yeah. They're not just standing around. And they weren't standing around during the fight. They were just too fast to see. They've all got celerity crazy out the ass. That leads out through a little bit of an underground tunnel through a cellar, and then there's a little sally port that leads out around like a little ridge that below the palace. And by the time you get out there, the whole thing's on fire. You can see various people have evacuated. You didn't hear anybody dying of fire behind you, and they were pretty powerful elders, so chances are they're all right, at the very, if not singed a little bit. But yeah.
Summon the Houndmaster.
You summon the Houndmaster.
Yeah.
In a couple minutes, you see him running up, and he's dragging 4 dogs on leashes that are not moving along with him, and he's all covered in blood and stuff. And he's got a big old, I imagine like a light woodsman's axe in his hand. It's all covered in gore.
Yeah.
Yes, master.
It's time we leave, Master Bradovich.
Do you have blood, master? These dogs. Then he's just whacks one of them with the pole of his axe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give each one of them a point of blood.
Okay.
Get them up and moving. That's 4.
Yes. So as you do, each one starts yelping, just just make a god awful sound.
Yeah.
And he picks up 2 of them, and then drapes the other 2 by their leashes over his back, so they're not quite choking, but they're not really doing too great. But it's the best he can do, and he starts trudging off towards were, the off the building stables where you guys had all your horses and your carriages and everything.
Yeah, let's get our crap and get out of here.
All right, you start loading up.
Yeah.
Anything on my arm? Anything I sense on my arm?
You have lost 1 blood point.
Okay.
Vlad looks over at the burning building. You can see him kind of grinning a little bit. Where is it that we are off to now?
The B Streets.
These streets.
Well, Radu wishes to meet with you.
Radu.
Yes.
I find this agreeable.
I think you'll find B Streets in general to be agreeable with you, a man of military background such as yourself. I was prince there for quite some time.
I had owned it for many years, but had never been there.
Yes? It's quite a place.
I suppose that I do now still. Let us go.
Despite the best efforts of your enemies.
Note well that I will be no source of food for you on our journey.
Don't worry, that was not our intent.
I thought not.
I only eat what I hunt, and with that I turn into a wolf, run into the woods and go find a nice big fat juicy stag to drink.
Okay. So you guys set off for B Streets.
Yep.
It's about your typical 2-week journey across half of Transylvania.
Well, yeah.
So what are you guys gonna do during that time? Nothing? You're gonna discuss? Talk to Vlad?
Yeah, definitely. Started the conversation probably that first night out.
Alright. Same evening or next evening?
Probably that same evening. Still kind of cleaning spattered gore off of my clothes as best I can, and I'm sure Emmy is still cleaning the dried viscera from under her fingernails.
I've changed into traveling clothes.
This is where your companion is not prepared. You should wear red, like us.
It would be best.
I imagine I'm back by this point.
I had my royal tailor remove all of my white clothing. I'm tired with staining it.
Yes, I usually wear black and red. Sometimes green, but mostly black and red.
Oh, what a horrible color for a fine lady.
Green?
Yes.
My husband finds me very flattering in green, so...
Your husband's priorities are misguided.
I would have to disagree.
Brides are born, wed, and loved in blood.
There were many odd things about this conclave that I think we bear discussing. Not the least of which is this bizarre behavior by these anarchs. While I think the explanation that they are simply rabid dogs and acted without thinking does have some degree of merit, I find that hard to believe.
It's too convenient. They couldn't possibly be that stupid. I think it was a setup.
Somebody wanted to disrupt the convocation.
No, someone wanted to unite the convocation.
Perhaps a little of both.
I tend to think more the latter. If there's anything that people readily unite over, it is a common enemy. If they sought to disrupt the convocation, simply setting a fire anonymously would have done that. No need to bring the anarchs into it. Bringing in a third party to act as a target for conflict is a way to unite the warring factions, at least on some level. Notice there at the end how Count... No, I can't remember.
Rustikovich.
Count Rostakhovich and Dominus finally did agree. Whereas the entirety of the convocation previous to that, the feelings of acrimony between them were palpable. No, I don't
Mutual enemy will always unite conflicting foes.
Exactly.
Then it seems there were multiple forces at work. I recall discussing the conversation you had with this Ariane and how she wished to use Stanislaw? Wished to use Stanislaw to disrupt the conversation.
Yeah, she merely wished to relieve her boredom, I think.
Why is it that you think your anarchs are too stupid to find the convocation, yet so wise that they wouldn't attack it?
No, I don't believe
Bravado, arrogance.
I don't believe they're too stupid to find it.
So they could have found it
Of course,
and attacked.
they could have, but I don't think they would be that stupid.
Why?
Because attacking a slumbering elder, even an antediluvian, is
Head
much
on.
different than attacking an entire room full of them.
An entire room which is already primed for conflict.
They didn't know that.
They'd have to be very poorly informed indeed to not know that.
They would need to know only the convocation and then whip themselves up into a rebellious fury. Mutinies start the same way.
Thing is, there's always somebody making power plays. That is the way we work.
Yeah, there is always somebody trying to make a power play. Then there are independent movers who act on their own in the midst of this.
They are manipulated as pawns.
Yes, many are manipulated pawns. They are flies in the web. Others are stones.
The question that I have is, these anarchs that attacked the convocation, they were quite clearly pawns. But
Flies in
the
the
question
web.
gets to be, who are the king?
Right. That is why we think somebody else is involved. There will have been somebody else involved.
Flies will find their way to the web.
Mm-hmm.
But perhaps there were two plots at hand there. One by this Ariane to cause conflict between the voivode and Dominus and his people.
I think she merely saw an opportunity.
Did she?
I believe so. I don't think she came there looking to start conflict, but...
You told me she was an ally of this Hartstead and his Camarilla.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems like they would have a vested interest in causing conflict at this convocation. The voivode clearly do not wish to join their ranks.
No.
But as for Dominus and his ilk, it seems like that would be right up their alley, so to speak.
How would you propose that these anarchs be manipulated and moved as pawns then?
It will not be hard for one with the skills of domination.
Enlightenment.
Vampiric disciplines. Jakub, if you would.
I would ask you a question first. Just a sidetrack from that. Did you hear the woman in the shadow say any words to me?
I heard no words cross her lips.
Okay.
Tell me of this.
Kneel down before me.
No,
And grovel.
I shall not.
Attempting to dominate him.
It instantly fails.
Curious.
Can I read his aura? Can I see the book?
Who's got it? Is it me? It is me.
Oh, okay.
I hid it away in a secret hidden place.
Aspects was 194. You told me
Is it an
Or
insight
read-
roll? Is there
read this-
insight even in
I
this?
can either do read the soul.
Yep.
Yeah, probably read the soul.
Perception plus empathy, difficulty 8. Suffice to say, a vampire of sufficient power.
Let her do this thing
No, I
before
know.
you get started. Because next thing you know, I'll start responding to you while she's.
Oh, okay.
Because what she's doing, and it's taken her a minute to look it up. But
Sorry,
it's
I
a
just.
quick thing. No, you don't have to be sorry.
Wait, you don't have the book memorized?
No,
Yeah, fuck all that.
I don't actually.
I think that's the craziest thing in the world.
We've been playing this how
I
long?
need to learn all the rules of the game by heart. No.
We've been playing this how long, and I'm still like, how does combat work?
Yeah.
We've done it so much.
Yeah.
But even when I was running live action, I walked around with a book underneath my arm all the time. And we played for a full year before I stopped carrying it underneath my arm, and I would put it on the floor, like right next to me. And I still looked at it every now and
Somewhere,
again.
you know.
Yeah, it was just like this far away.
It was no longer your whoopee, but
Yeah.
it had to be nearby.
Yeah.
Alright, I got 4 successes.
Okay, what does that get you? You get questions or what?
So, I can detect subtle shifts.
What does it say
So what is the
before that?
actual effect of the spell if you go up to the
This one.
discipline? Yeah.
Says with each success granting the character more pieces of information about their subject. Consider the chart below for ideas as to what information the storyteller might communicate.
Yeah. So essentially, you can ask about the things that are on that chart. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
it just
there's
has like
colors.
it just has like
Well, basically, it's up to you to say what color she sees.
yeah, what colors
she
I
sees in his-
see
in his
if I
aura.
see anything.
yeah. Let me see it.
And so it's over here. It just says 4 successes. I can detect subtle shifts of his auras or whatever.
Yeah, you'll be able to keep
Yeah.
a bead on him.
Kind of just what he's. Because if. Just from what we've learned about him, I'm like,
Yeah, you get a mix of he's pretty calm for the most part,
yeah.
but he's also a little bit excited and a little bit so the calm is the blue, the excited is the violet, idealistic is the yellow, and a little bit of green is a little bit obsessed too.
Okay.
That's where he's at. But he doesn't have any, he's got a nice bright mortal aura
Yeah.
without any of the weird supernatural stuff on it.
Uh-huh.
He's just like, he's pretty calm, but he's also like, he's interested in what's happening. He's a little bit
Yeah.
excited. He's got some ideas brewing.
Yeah. Okay.
You've partaken of the blood of Canaanites before, haven't you?
Regularly. No, not in some time.
I imagine you killed them after. You would not want to find yourself bound to them.
Drinking their blood is the purpose of killing them.
Yes, but you can't drink their blood without killing them.
Needless to
But-
say, a normal mortal would not be able to withstand my friend Jacob's influence
Yeah,
so easily.
they are weak of mind.
Indeed, many of the younger and more foolish among our vampiric brethren also would not withstand such mental intrusions.
You speak of these intrusions. What are they?
I attempted to show you, but you are resistant to it. It's curious.
Yes, I understand, but what is it that you do to these weak-minded fools?
You simply subsume their will and it becomes your own. And Jacob could tell you more. He's the one that can do it.
What can you make them do?
Whatever you want them to do.
For example, you saw, no doubt, how many of our attackers laid down their weapons and ceased their hostilities when I told them to. In the midst of combat, no less.
It did not work on all of them.
No. The strong-willed, the very courageous can resist. But it is difficult.
So you have this ability as well.
Yeah,
They're-
not precisely the same.
There are differences.
How is it different?
For him, it's an inspiration. For me, it is a control.
Though it may not have affected you, I'm sure you felt the intensity of my presence in the room.
So you carry the flag and you the whip.
Perhaps so.
An apt description.
And what of this bond you speak of?
The blood can be used to bind a mortal or another Canaanite to the will of the vampire whose blood they drink.
Simply by drinking it?
Yes, well, in most cases, it has to be done a number of times.
What number of times? If their will is weak?
I have heard that 3 times is normally sufficient.
3 times.
This is not merely a device used for bondage and submission. It is also one used to secure allegiance between 2 allies. You become of the same blood, the same purpose.
That is foolish.
I would agree. I would not see my will subsumed by that of another.
If you and an ally are allied, that should be enough.
Precisely.
If you cannot have the wisdom to see that your ally is worthy or not worthy, then you deserve your fate.
That is the paradox of immortality. When you're immortal, people can be prone to being short-sighted. When you're immortal, you see things through a longer lens. You view the long game, as it were, but you lose sight of the things directly in front of you.
And indeed, knowing your friends.
Common men, they let very strange, childish feelings guide their decisions.
Even among the Canaanites, some are more common than other.
Yeah, I have no doubt. It seems less prevalent among your kind, but still, there are many who treat potential foes much in the same way that they would a parrot or a child. Offer them leniency in strange ways. I remember there were a group of the Sultan's men who came to my court. And they dishonored me. They refused to remove their headwear. Claimed such nonsense that it was a part of their religion or something. But they were not in their lands, but in mine. And they knew this coming to me, and yet they maintained that they should keep their headwear about them.
I know these men.
My ministers thought it no problem. They sought to advise me that it was their way. They wished to extend to them a mercy that one would give one's child. These men are not my children. They are my enemy. And they dishonor me in my own court. I had never been so insulted.
Would you to visit their court and they demand you remove your weapons, would you?
I would not visit their court.
No. No, you wouldn't.
Just sort of nodding as I'm listening to the conversation.
Those men paid. It was quite humorous, actually. I hold no more resentment about it. It was so humorous. They had saw fit to keep their headwear about them in my court. So I saw that they should keep their headwear permanently, and I had their turbans nailed to their heads. It was very humorous. They did not die right away. One of them fell to the ground and defecated upon himself. None over and over. Another clasped his hands outwards into his breast over and over. Another arched his back to and fro over and over. And another one said, "Mother, mother, 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 mother." They died but a few days later. And he commences to fumbling around in the things and finally finding one of the servants' bottles of wine and sipping on this wine.
I go and take a walk.
They show themselves to be your enemies, and sometimes the best way to discourage one's enemies is with a display of such things.
They knew not to return to my court.
They did not, did they?
They did not.
Then your ends were accomplished.
That's one of the facts of a life of immortality, that you will meet those who seek to entertain themselves by playing games. Games of politics, games of court.
So they are not only weak-willed but dim-witted.
Petty. Many is the Canaanite whose defining characteristic is pettiness. Whereas many are not. There are many who are not to be trifled with, such as Dominus, Count Rostakovich.
They both seem both worthy allies and enemies. Well, based on their abilities, that is.
With many of our brethren, it gets to a point where boredom becomes a factor. Brutally slaying one's enemies, while amusing in the moment, after a time, even that becomes dull. You seek further ingratiations of your senses, further amusements. And for some of them, these petty intrigues are what they find amusing.
Boredom is for the unimaginative.
Indeed.
Well, I have not seen unimaginative. I've seen people hang themselves upon the cross to try to understand.
What?
Try to understand what they think is divine.
That's foolish.
Do they realize that Christ was crucified by his enemies?
If they crucify each other.
They say that Odin hung from a tree once for 3 days, but it was to gain knowledge. And he was given that knowledge.
There's certainly time for it. I tried crucifixion. It was too slow.
Well, we've given you an idea to speed that up, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Leifar has, anyways.
Huh?
Oh, the Blood Eagle, you've forgotten so soon.
Oh, that you spoke of with Rostakovich. Yes. That is an exotic punishment. Something to be saved for a special enemy, a special criminal.
Yes, it is traditional among my people to do this to only our most hated of enemies. And sometimes, on occasion, as a sacrifice for the god's favor.
Well, it would take so much time. How long would you say it takes to perform this Eagle of Blood?
I have only seen it done once, and it took to actually perform the act perhaps 5-10 minutes.
10 minutes!
But the
I believe that I could have 5 men on pikes in that time.
Ah, yes. But you put the man on the pike, and then it's over.
Yes. There are more to come.
Mm-hmm. This is why this punishment is reserved for those with special needs.
Yes, a special punishment.
Mm-hmm. It is much slower and much more painful.
Personal.
Yes. And as I said, on occasion, sometimes this is used. A person will volunteer to sacrifice themselves to gain the god's favor. As a way of helping their people.
And does it help?
I would like to watch this happen.
The one time I saw it done was before a massive raid into England, and it was a successful raid. So I suppose it did.
Was it successful for your men foolishly killing himself, or because your men were strong and your shields were thick?
He was an old man. He could not fight. He wished to still contribute to the effort.
And they should have put a dagger in his hand and told him to run.
Well, it's simply what my people believed. I understand that many of them now have fallen to your ways of Christianity.
And you speak of the foolishness of us cross worshippers.
Yes, you do many silly things. We do a few. But
regardless, I do not believe that the discussion of theology is our best use of time, but after all, Leifar, this is something that we'll probably never agree on.
no, I'm sure we won't. But another thing I wish to discuss that we've brought up in other company, but not amongst ourselves, is this Masquerade that the Camarilla has proposed. I think that is something that we should consider. I would not propose to join these fools in the Camarilla, but that particular idea does have merit. The days when we can rule openly and attract the ire of the Inquisition and their hordes are coming to a close. I wish to hear your thoughts.
Not to a close. The Inquisition is having its day. It will fade away.
Are you certain of that? As the Christian church is fading away, as I said, they have spread to my lands now. I have not been there, but I have heard tales. I have not been back since I was mortal, but I have heard stories that the Christian missionaries up there have had much success.
The society of dreamed of and created by Michael and his cohort. It's the only way to truly live among mortals. The Masquerade is a temporary measure at best. Living in shadows is no way to live. Constantinople has fallen, but the dream lives on.
You may think so, but I think it is just a dream.
It does not make it any less true.
I don't see any difficulty in it. Living in shadows is sometimes necessary. Or just living in the trees, that's an option too. Away from the mortals.
You live in trees.
He lives wherever he pleases.
I go where I wish to.
Do you not have worry that the sun would burn you?
No.
The sun cannot burn you? I thought all of your kind were vulnerable to this.
Of course the sun can burn me, but I have ways to protect myself from it.
The trees protect you?
The earth protects me.
How?
You will see.
When morning comes, I will show you.
Very well.
Still rumbling along in the carriage.
Okay.
But it is something that all can learn. To seek protection of the earth.
This seems wise to me.
It is. Not all of us have sought to acquire the knowledge, but Leifar was kind enough to teach it to me.
It is a thing of my clan. Each of us has different aptitudes.
Uniting the clans of your land is the first step to victory.
But we are agreed.
Well, isn't that what the Camarilla wish to do?
Oh, I feel the Camarilla wish to unite under subjugation from a council of bureaucrats. It is one thing to be united in purpose.
It is no different, it's simply that they're your enemies. And you wish to stop them from uniting their clans before they can defeat you.
I care not if they unite their clans. They can unite their clans. They can burn in hell for all I care. I care not. I simply have no wish to be ruled over, nor wish to rule over anyone else. I will not be a pawn. I've played that part before and have no wish to return to it.
You are upon the board, Leifar, whether you like it or not.
If I seek to ally myself with someone whose goals align with mine, that is my choice. I will not be used.
Go to bed.
No more.
We have danced that dance, and it was not an enjoyable one.
Indeed. If someone wishes my help, they have simply to ask, and I will say yes or no. But I will not be manipulated anymore. No longer.
Well, it's a good thing you did not make the acquaintance of Bishop Alfonso, then.
Who is this?
Dust
One
in
of
the
our
earth.
kind in Constantinople.
Someone not worth your time.
If you have remembered of him after when have you had been to the holy city? Certainly before it was conquered.
It was the last time.
I should say 3 centuries at least.
3 centuries.
Not
3 centuries you have remembered this man's name.
Not quite.
And you say that he is unimportant?
It was in the earliest days, us three, infancy, as it were, in this life of immortality. It made an impression. He was one who sought to manipulate, use as a...
Anybody and everybody.
Yes, just so. I see some similarities, I think. I thought of this when Dominus was speaking of the Anarchs. I think what he suggested is much the same as what ended up happening to Bishop Alfonso. He sought to use his enemies, what were they called?
Those heretics.
Yes, started with a C.
You're talking about the Calaminites?
The Calaminites. I think he used them to rally people to his banner until they got out of control.
His people came out of control. Their fanaticism was too strong.
Yes. I think Dominus would use the Anarchs the same way. But their fanaticism was perhaps even stronger than that of the Calaminites.
I don't know.
I can only imagine that Dominus has not survived since the days of the ancient Roman Empire by being a fool.
Certainly not.
It seems like this course will not end well.
I would turn the Anarchs against the Turks. Send them into the holy city. Set it free.
What motivation would they have to go against the Turks?
I would find them one.
The only thing that motivates the Anarchs and those like them is blood, and more blood. The
Well,
blood of elders, the blood of ancients. To gain more power, more strength.
They are there.
Not any longer.
no, you have killed them. They are there, are they not? You kill vampires to drink their blood,
Yes.
including amongst the Turks.
Yes.
They're there, Leifar.
I thought we were told when the holy city fell, they were all killed.
Oh, not
Or driven
ours.
out.
No, I bet they were. The Turks have vampires among them. That's
You
my
speak of the
point.
Banu Hakim again.
Yes. Perhaps others. I don't know. Certainly some Setites.
That is what I would do.
Yes, but if the rest of the Banu Hakim are like your friend,
Yes.
then they are very good at remaining unseen, and I doubt these Anarchs would be able to catch them by surprise.
What friend?
If anything, they would do quite well under such a regime.
What friend?
An assassin. A vampire assassin.
Ah. Turkish assassin.
So are you saying
It could be quite good.
So are you saying if the Anarchs were pointed at the holy city, it might end poorly for them? What a shame.
What a shame indeed. Or perhaps they would be successful.
Either way, they would be weakened. Either weakened or destroyed.
Or humbled.
A humble man can be reasoned with. Okay, knight.
That is one possibility, but the thing that has surprised me thus far is that the La Sombra and those like them in the church have not turned the Inquisition on them. Or have they?
These are the shadow folk. Correct?
La Sombra, yes. There are many of them in the church.
That woman was among their number. The one with the madman.
Yes.
She was fetching.
Quite.
Oh. She may not actually be fetching. It may be illusion.
Her illusion is well painted, if it is such.
Those who know the arts of illusion and trickery, such as that among our kind, can make themselves look however they want to look.
I care not.
Not like myself, whereas I actually change into another creature.
Yes, Listerkovich was saying. You not only
They
control
may-
the beast's particular form.
Yes.
And as our hosts meld their own flesh into whatever they need, or the flesh of others.
Yes, I have seen this.
I'm certain you have. Have you seen the beasts that they make?
Yes.
Yes, I thought you would like that.
I've imagined such things, but they never worked.
They can make them work, can't they?
Yes. This is most interesting to me.
Okay.
Well, if that's all you got, that's all you got, right?
On to B streets.
Okay.
Stop at a few villages on the way.
Stop at a few villages on the way.
Show 'em
Drink
how I
some
mold-
blood, kill
show
some
'em how I
locals.
mold into the earth. and all that.
Oh, I don't kill locals.
You don't? Oh, okay.
No.
Vlad takes a covert, a private approach whenever you guys stop. He's famous. He doesn't.
He's like, I'll stay in the carriage.
Yeah. He doesn't want to make a show.
Sunrise show him the trick of melding into the earth.
He thinks it's cool. So yeah, all throughout your journey, it's just more of the same. He just keeps like plying you with questions. He just wants to know. He's almost like a little kid. He wants to know everything. Why? Why
Why though?
Why? How? Why?
What is your
And he has several. He often segues into several tales about his past, and how it relates to whatever piece of philosophy that he's talking about. And a good 8 times out of 10, it's some horrific punishment or horrific, like act of control that he enacted on people.
So knowing that he is seeking the embrace,
He does.
well,
Here's the question.
That it's still
maybe.
Yeah, he has never said I want to be one of you, but he's just very curious about you.
I will do my best when talking to him, answering his questions, to be as brutally honest as possible. Like, no only the good stuff, none of that.
No, he don't want that anyway.
No.
So he probably appreciates it by the time everything's said and done. Probably even says so. Oh yeah.
Fighting the beast, what that's like, the hunger, the
Yeah,
constant.
and he'll readily, agree. Like, I'm not. That doesn't sound great at all. That sounds terrible. like. But so yeah, after, a couple weeks' time and a few villages later, you guys arrive at B Streets. Vlad is he's a little bit like a kid in a candy store when you guys start approaching Tahuta Pass, and he's just looking out and just like looking at the cliffs and everything, and he's just seems to be really enamored by the land and the trees and the cliffs and the mountains and the countryside, and he's just like watching it. He's like commenting, like maybe it'll be worth a little bit of that hunger if I could see better in this dark, like Leifar has told me. He's like thinks it's great.
When we first arrived here, this was nothing but empty fields. Get to the keep, and there was foundations here, but no keep.
He'll probably chit chat with you a little bit about how you built it, how many men you used. He wants to know like how many died and how you punished them and all that jazz. He seems like flabbergasted when you tell him the almost non-existent punishment that you levied on people.
We had very skilled men. They did not
just
require.
Like,
We only brought the best.
it's like you were lucky. You were blessed by God or something.
We only brought the best. You do not wear your finest armor to battle and then leave it to rust out in the rain.
And then he'll probably concede, you didn't have an entire kingdom to run, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. The journey was
You're just
long
building
and-
this one place. So.
The journey was long and arduous. We could not bring dead weight with us.
And we also plant the flag and use the whip in the mind, don't we?
He nods and strokes his big, long, horizontal mustache.
It's much easier when they just do what they're asked.
Shrugs his shoulders.
I know you would have less fun with it.
He nods his head in agreement.
But it saves time.
Which would you prefer? Men that were perfectly obedient, or the opportunity to punish those who were not? I know which one you would rather command in battle.
Yes.
Ask a Canaanite in these lands and he would just punish them for the fun of it anyways.
As would I.
I figure you would.
The man who knows what his punishment will be will fight all the harder. A man who is mindless, controlled by magic, who knows?
My men are like my arm. They flex and they flex with it.
How many of them can you control?
It takes time. And there are still only men. You can also make servants of blood as well. They grow stronger.
Ah, yes, I have heard of that.
But that takes much more work. It takes a piece of ourselves. So,
Not if you feed your enemies to them.
no, we must feed ourselves to them. We can eat our enemies, of course.
You can feed your enemy to your servants.
It would do them no good.
That is where you are wrong.
Houndmaster Bradovich has been with me for far beyond the lifespan of a normal man.
Yes, master. Yes. All the dogs start barking and jumping, and he's like, "Get down, you brutes!" Turns his axe and hits him with the handle of the axe, just like thumps him on the head.
I think the two of you would get along.
They both give this like almost nigh comical like sneer, derisive sneer at each other.
Well, perhaps not.
So, I can't find his name, but there's a gangrel who's in charge of, he's your driver. He's not important, though.
Mike probably wrote it down. He's not here.
Yeah,
Oh, I remember the guy, though. I remember.
yeah, he's
Yeah, I
there.
recall
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
He leads you into the castle, and you can tell that things have continued to be difficult for Radu.
Tense.
Yeah, well, the environment itself is not super kept. There's a lot of like burnt candle wax junk and like unswept hallways and stuff like that. Yeah, just generally the place is a little bit not as well kept as it normally is.
Killing my ass.
The chair was killing my ass, man.
He's killing
It's
me.
true though. Those chairs aren't the best. Anyways, Lord Radu comes down one of the hallways wearing one of his new modern kind of short capes. It only comes down to like your waist. Weird looking. He comes striding forth and he's like, Yes, Master Vlad, my lord, so wonderful to meet you. And they exchanges all these real formal, greetings and pleasantries, and they bow real deep and all this sort of stuff. And he quickly, makes some polite, pardons to excuse himself and Vlad to speak alone for a short period of time, and asks that you take your comfort, where you may within the keep, and he will, snaps his fingers and has his ghoul servant come and serve you, basic, clean clothes and, water to wash the dirt from your hands and your face and your feet, and provide you with a modicum of blood to drink, 1 to 2 points each, as you would like. And before you can even really get too cleaned up, you see Radu coming back into the room where you guys are freshening up alone.
Lord Radu?
He has a pretty haggard, very haggard look on his face. His eyes are tense, his lip is sneering a little bit. He looks almost vexed. My friends, I thank you for your loyal and friendly task in bringing Lord Dracula to this place. But I regret to inform you that Vlad's fate is soon to be decided, and it is no longer that we shall have any say in this fate.
And who will be doing this deciding?
The great Lord Yorak has summoned him before him.
Who now?
Yorak, the son of the eldest, keeper of the Cathedral of Flesh.
Radu, what have you done?
I have done nothing.
Does he look pleased about this?
It has not been told me whether Yorick will decide to embrace him or to kill him. But he wishes that he be brought to him.
Yeah, regardless, I suppose his fate is out of our hands.
Not so fast. I imagine he'll require an escort.
Yes.
I imagine that is where we continue our task.
Yes, Yorick has requested an escort of the highest caliber.
Forgive me, Lord Brother, you seem troubled by all this.
I have endeavored to keep Yorick from you.
Yes, until now.
I can see now that it was folly. And I beg your forgiveness, but it is still considered of a great honor to be invited to the cathedral.
What is this cathedral of flesh?
With the Samitsi, I can only guess.
That is what.
No
concerns
offense, Lord Radu. Anyway.
It is the High Temple of Metamorphosis.
Sounds lovely.
Well, then we should view this as the great honor which it is no doubt intended to be.
You should at that.
I would ask what it is the son of the dragon wants, but it would seem that is immaterial at this point.
It is. It is quite brash that Yorick asks that he be escorted. The son of the eldest could indeed reach out his will across the lands and bring Vlad here to him.
Your plan especially, your power comes from these lands. I'm sure if he desired, he could extend forth his will and do whatever he wished.
So this Yorick has requested an escort for Vlad as well, meaning that he requested our presence, is what you're telling us indirectly.
Yes.
Very well.
I suppose. There's no sense in wasting time.
Well,
We would ask fresh horses.
Everything will be provided.
Of course, I expected no less.
what should we know about Yorick? Aside from everything we know about the Shemisi here.
Now that the eldest has fallen, he is the eldest. He is the great changing beast who has put all of us to motion.
And he would be what? But 4 removed from Cain himself?
Yes.
Powerful indeed.
He is the grandsire of Rustakovich.
What's his temple in the mountain then?
I will show you a drive of the way.
How many days hence is it?
5 days. To the east.
What time of night's all is going on?
You're probably not leaving tonight, but
Okay.
you got a little bit of time tonight. Maybe it's 2 a.m. by our standards.
Okay. What time of year is this anyway?
It's spring. Because there's no ice. Yeah, they wouldn't have had this kind of people travel like this in pretty much anything in spring or summer.
It does seem strange so much attention should be lauded upon one mortal, but I must say that the son of the dragon is no ordinary mortal.
Is it true that he cannot be commanded?
I
It
think.
would seem so.
I don't think. Well, he's certainly mortal. But I think by all effect and mean, he's a ghoul. With no master.
He has
Perhaps.
been drinking the blood of Canaanites and killing them for years, he says.
That and he was born.
What do you mean?
The Revenant families.
Like the Radoviches, eh?
Yes. Like those. like those who dwelt at Jehuta Pass. Revenant families there as well.
This was one of Yorak's inventions.
Including his family?
There are several families now, but it began with simply isolated communities that have become families over time. Master Yorak would have them fed. Entire communities for generations. Mother to child.
I've seen this done. Interesting.
All the noble lines have some capacity of this or another. Some more than others. The Dragomirs, indeed. But a ghoul with no master. Not a revenant, but a ghoul. I knew that he was killing Canaanites. I did not know that he had the knowledge to take of their blood and drink it.
Should not be surprising. His father had much knowledge of our kind.
Perhaps doing the same.
I don't think Yorak means to kill him. It seems like it would be silly in the extreme to go to the trouble of having him brought to this cathedral of flesh
Why?
just to kill him.
You misunderstand, Pax. If he brings him to the cathedral of flesh without the intention of embracing him, it will not be just to kill him.
And he would be transformed in some way.
He would be added to the tapestry.
I can only imagine what that means. I suppose I'll witness it for myself. In 5 days, give or take. I would bet that he means to embrace him. But it's not relevant, is it? Our task is our task. It would seem that we don't have much of a choice.
It is not for us to decide.
No.
I was commanded to stay here, or else I would accompany you.
There's always a choice, of course, but I will choose to go along with this for now.
Well, I don't think there is a choice in this matter. It is either go along with it or likely die your final death.
Or leave Transylvania.
You think you would have the chance?
Perhaps more than I
I've
would.
done it before. At what point does Ryder retire for the night? Unless anyone else has any conversation to have with him.
He probably, it's probably pretty brief if nobody has anything else to tell him. He simply extends to you his, it's like a weird combination of thanks and sympathy.
Well, I'll give him the down low on what happened at the convocation.
Okay.
Just because if that comes up in the future, I don't want her to be blindsided.
We don't have to roleplay it out, but he probably asked
Yeah.
enough questions to get a lot of detail about what happened.
Yeah.
Once he's retired,
That probably takes an hour.
or once he leaves us.
Yeah. He says he's pretty. It seems pretty heartfelt. Like whatever I can do to support you.
I am curious
And he's out.
what Lord Volsa would say about this situation. We have not heard from him in some time.
Indeed. I would speak with him, but I don't have an artifact to speak with him with. Something to remember for the future.
I wouldn't be surprised if our goings on are not unknown to him.
He's not the same as this one, though.
Do we remember roughly where he would fall as far as the generational thing goes compared to this guy?
You're not 100% sure, but pretty close.
I don't remember if he ever specified.
He never did specify, but pretty close. Pretty close. Volsa did specifically say that he's never spoken to the eldest, but he's spoken to the eldest's children.
Oh. Well, I figured you probably knew each other.
Roll intelligence.
Just raw intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
One success.
He mentioned your act specifically.
Oh, is he one of the ones that he asked about when you woke up?
Mm-hmm. Remember that list? He's like, what about this guy? What about this guy?
I suppose the question is, do we proceed to what seems to be amounting to a pivotal event without consulting him, or simply assume that he knows what's going on?
I would suggest consult if we have time. If we're going to have
If
him
he's
in our
going,
possession for 5 more days.
if he is going to be our ally, we should make sure that we are not at cross purposes in this.
We haven't discussed it at all with him.
We'll send out the psychic bat signal. If he's close, he'll come.
And if he wishes.
Like, that's all I say to them. If he's close, they'll come. And if he wishes to come.
What did we use to summon him when we were in China?
Summon.
That was all we used?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I can talk if I have artifacts, but I don't.
He's powerful enough that my summon is just like, oh, Pax wants to talk to you. He's like, all right.
Notification, Pax sent a
Yeah.
message.
It's just his secretary comes in.
Yeah.
Mr. Pax said, I'd like to meet with you.
Well, I'll wait up tonight and spend some time reading in the library, and if nothing...
This library sucks.
well,
It's the worst.
something. And
okay, I've got stuff to read.
if nothing happens before dawn, then I'll do my usual, head out into the mountains, and melt into the earth somewhere.
All right.
You want to hear about the Genesis fragment?
Sure.
I think we could do 2 pages. Because these are much more full pages than the other one. So this is reading from Revelations of the Dark Mother. Genesis fragment number 1, the creation. Once all was silence and stillness. This was the time of nothing, when the Ancient One rested its eyes and moved not. Every 55,555 years, the Ancient One breaks its rest and opens its eyes to see what is not there before. Each 5,555 years, 55,555 years, it closes its eyes, and all becomes silence and stillness again. Then the Ancient One opened its eyes for the 333rd time, and a bolt of light split the darkness. Thence came Jehovah and the other shining ones to delight the eyes of the Ancient One. They spoke great words and sang great songs, and thence wove the worlds into being. Upon the shells of the 332 old worlds did they tread, and the creatures of those worlds did howl and lose themselves upon the wilderness. Each of the host raised a garden and set itself to creating plants and beasts therein, wherein each garden the earth provided fettle for the growing things, and the fire did burn in the skies by day and by night. And the air did flow as words of divinity, and the waters did nourish the flowers and plants of all living things. And Jehovah, the firstborn, raised the great gardens of them all in the land between the rivers. And he grew 2 trees within that garden, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And each tree bore fruit with 7-fold seeds, and each seed carried the great truth of the Shining One. In time the beasts of Jehovah's garden did fat themselves upon the seeds of the trees, and came to know the great truths, but they cared not. They were naked, yet they cared not. They were content and cared not. The beasts fattened themselves upon the seeds, and upon the grasses, and upon each other. For such is the way of all things, and it was good. But Jehovah hungered. He ate of the fruits of both trees, but they did not fill him. He drank from the 2 rivers, and from the salt of the great seas, but they did not fill him. He feasted at the gardens of Lucifer and Gabriel and Astarte and Bes, but still he was not satisfied. His belly hungered, and the beasts hid in fear. So great was the hunger of the firstborn. But he hungered not for meat, nor for fruit, nor for the company of his cousins. Jehovah hungered for companionship. So Jehovah mourned, and his moans were like storms. He wept, and his tears wetted the true earth at the center of his garden. And they fell upon the seeds of the tree of life and knowledge, and they did bring forth wondrous, strange fruit. Male and female rose as one from the mud of the true earth, joined back to back, and they struggled to stand and could not, until Jehovah passed his hand between them and made them 2 equal and strong. He made them. And the Ancient One saw this not, but seemed it to smile nonetheless. In chapter 2, the garden. It's just another couple pages. Jehovah named his creation Ish, or Adam, and Lilitu, or Lilith. And he bestowed upon them great gifts. To the male he gave the powers of shaping and naming, and to the female he gave powers of fertility and intuition. Raised as they were from the true earth and the seeds of the trees, the man and woman could see and adore the works of Jehovah. And he was much pleased. As he commanded his servants, those seraphim and cherubim and demon and imps, to show Adam and Lilith the wonders of the garden and employ their gifts. He bade Adam to name each of the creatures and plants therein, and bade Lilith to breed them, and bade them both to tend to the beings of the garden according to their needs. Lilith kept her company amongst the plants and growing things and fruit-bearing trees. Adam passed his time naming all the beasts, male and female, that did dwell in the garden. Adam learned to hunt the creatures as they hunted each other, and Lilith learned to eat of the trees and the plants, as the trees and the plants did fertilize one another. As she tended the garden, Jehovah forbade Lilith from the tree of life and knowledge, saying, "Those are the fruits of godhood. Immortal as thou art, those fruits should devour thee from the inside out, if thou wouldst dare devour them first. Like lightning from the heaven, they would blind thee and sear thy flesh and innards, and rend thee like the tree which has been stricken." But Lilith did not believe Jehovah, but neither did she test him, but she hungered for those fruits. For she was a creation of strong will. When the fruit fell from the trees, she ate of it, and lo, her eyes were opened. She was naked and not ashamed of it, and she became like unto the Shining One, like unto Jehovah, but she did not understand how to be like him, and so she waited and watched. Lilith sought to teach Adam of the ways of the plants, but he cared not. She watched him at the hunt, and she made tools to help her, and bade the wolf and the lion and the owl to follow her. Thus did Lilith excel at the art of hunting and food gathering. Adam was wroth and put himself far from her. In his loneliness, Adam did know many of the female beasts, for he desired a mate of his own. And Jehovah told him to look to the female Lilith for his mate, saying, "Thou art above the beasts, and it is detestable that thou shouldst lie with them." And so Adam went to Lilith and told her to lie down with him. But Lilith was repulsed by Adam, for he had mated with beasts. He sought to lay her upon her back, and that he might enter her, but she refused, saying, "Why must I lay down beneath me upon my back? I too was made from the true earth, and I am thine equal." And Adam grew angry in his rage. He forced Lilith upon her back beneath him, and she fought, and she struck her many blows, till the blood of Lilith fell upon the land, and the blood of Adam also. And Adam was rampant as a bull is when aroused, and his seed fell upon the earth, and brambles and ivy grew thereof, and tore at the heels of Adam and Lilith. Adam speared Lilith upon his thorn of his manhood, and Lilith cried out to the hidden true name of Jehovah. And he lifted her up out of the garden and into the heavens, and Adam was alone, and spent his wrath and lust upon the beasts and flowers. But as he had not eaten of the fruit of the two trees, he knew not what he did. Boom.
Brutal.
What is this book that you read us? Where did you get this?
This was given to me.
By whom?
By whom? I forgot.
Dude, Keeper of the Faith.
Yeah, the Keeper. The Keeper gifted this to me on our return.
Though I do not believe in your Christian faith, I have read your holy book.
Mm-hmm.
And this sounds very much like a different version of that story.
Very counter to it, yes. I am more curious, not what you think of our books, but what you think of it in relation to your own knowledge of the heavens.
You mean what my people say?
Mm-hmm. Do you see similarities? Do you see differences?
There are always similarities.
Oh, the similarities are where the truth lie. That is why I ask.
Well, take the tree, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Our people talk of Yggdrasil, the world tree. which unites all of the 9 realms. Midgard, where we live. Asgard, the home of the gods. Hell, where the dead dwell. Muspelheim, Anaheim, Gandaheim. All the different lands. Jotunheim. And all the creatures that dwell there. The tree is the symbol. The tree provides structure and life. And unites all things. Likewise, it is said, as I said before, that Odin himself once hung from a tree for 3 days to gain knowledge. He paid for that knowledge also by losing an eye. But now, he is the All-Father, the All-Seeing. He sees all. He knows all.
Who gave him the knowledge of hanging of this tree?
I don't remember all of that story.
I should be curious about it. Though trees are common, we would write trees into our stories. Trees of knowledge. That is the crux. That's where the truth lies.
Yes.
I shall have to look into this more. Have your people learned to write books? They only share between each other.
The sagas were written several centuries ago in Iceland. And they tell the stories of many of our ancient warriors, the berserkers, people like Siegfried, who fought the dragon, Fafnir, and the stories of Odin and Thor and Heimdall and all the gods. So yes,
I shall have to seek a copy of this then.
I am not sure how easy it would be to find a copy outside of my lands.
Well, I have traders, don't I?
Yes, this is true. Do you know of Iceland?
Certain I've heard of it.
It is an island far off in the Western Ocean.
Heading north and then west.
Yes. It is almost entirely covered in rivers of fire and hot springs,
Really?
but also great glaciers.
A land of ice and fire.
Indeed.
A hell of a place.
I have never been there, but I've spoken to those who have. They say it's quite beautiful, but desolate as well. They say there are other lands even further west than that. Greenland, Vinland.
Really?
Yes. Although my people do not travel to those places any longer.
For any reason other than there's nothing there?
No. The inhabitants were less than agreeable.
There are already people there.
Yes. But not like
Curious.
here. They are savage, primitive, even by our standards. They still use stone tools and barely know the use of fire.
Curious.
There's a long journey by longship as well, which is why many of my people do not go there anymore.
Well, between that and losing entire groups, I can see why.
Yes.
Not much to bring back if nobody survives. Clearly, the Land of Ice and Fire is much more interesting.
Yes, the Danish have colonies there.
Wonder what they gain by it.
Well, the soil there is good for farming.
Is it?
Although it is very rocky.
Rocks are not good for farming.
No, but the minerals in the soil are good for growing.
On the coast, then. That's exactly where you need the boat to be.
Always wanted to go there. Perhaps one day.
All right.
Cool.
So next night, you guys head out, re-equipped, rehorsed. Vlad seems like kind of excited. He seems to think that he's got kind of like a "it's about damn time" kind of an attitude.
This being the last day of our journey?
Huh?
This being the last day of our journey? Or something else?
No, just like, oh, we're going to see the big man. Oh, it's about damn time. It's like, oh. He seems to think he deserves to see the big man.
Of course.
Yeah. Anything special? Or skip to the fifth day? Fifth day. Okay.
Yeah. No word.
I make sure to impress upon him that we're going to speak to an elder that's been around since before the Bible was written.
He seemed. You get the impression that he is, yes, like, excited, like, yeah, that's cool, but also like he's proper mystified
Okay.
by this. He's like, oh yeah. He's not flippant about what's going on.
Good.
And
He thinks it's a huge this is a big honor. He deserves a big honor, but
Huge.
that doesn't mean that you swinging around like a child.
Yeah.
He's
I assume we haven't heard from Lord Volsa.
you have not. Vlad, I imagine him polishing his buttons. Like everything, just polishing his boots, like getting everything, sharpening his sword. Everything, just getting.
Quite disappointed.
Clipping his mustache, perfect.
I'm clearly very disappointed I haven't been able to stop back. To
Big
get
yellow.
a gift of any sort of worth for this occasion.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you got one.
Fair enough. Probably the most valuable gift I could give right now because I don't want to give it. But I have no choice.
I suppose that there's some truth to that. So this land that you're going through is near this, not far from the city of Deva. And it is visibly and increasingly barren. It's not too long before the trees are missing most of their leaves. The grass is gray and brittle. You've raised him high in elevation. You can hear the horses struggling against the thin air. The travelers along the road are becoming more and more sparse. You saw the last one at the beginning of the evening. It is now halfway through night, and you have seen no one. You can hear faint sounds off in the distance of their fires and bells. Some kind of celebration going on.
Ahead of us?
No, but like just behind you, around you, in the area. You don't see off in the distance ahead of you. You can't see any features. I mean, as far as, okay, let me rephrase myself. Any civilized features.
Yeah.
You don't see any buildings. You don't see any bridges. You don't see towers. It's just mountain.
Unsurprisingly.
Not too long, you begin to see cone-like piles of ash that have smoke and steam pouring out of them in black clouds. And not long after that, the horses, all of them, at once rear to a stop and refuse to move. Tiberius, your driver, the gangrel, whips at them continually, and they will not move. One of them, he gets out and he whips it so hard that it falls to its knees. They will not go forward. He kind of resigns himself that he's not going to be successful with the horses and comes over and opens the carriage doors, sets the stair stool out in front so that you can exit.
Are they normal horses?
No.
Okay.
And he looks off across the field.
How much further?
You can see a good 50 yards ahead. There's an opening of a cave.
Tend the horses and the carriages. Who shall return? We'll go the rest of the way on foot.
I will stay. Tiberius volunteers to stay. Tiberius, sorry. First time running this. Vlad steps out onto the ground. Yorak! You have paid me and I come. Where are you? And he starts striding off towards the cave.
Right behind him.
Heading into the cave.
We're going.
At the mouth of the cave, you can see what looks like plant material all along the outside, but it's moving and quivering as you come by. And past that, it becomes dark. Your gifts allow you to see. Your gifts allow you to see.
The Temple of Changing, he called this, eh? The Cathedral of Flesh. You ever read any Marcus Aurelius? He once said that change
Vlad goes striding off
change
into
is
the
the
dark.
beauty of nature, but I don't think this is what they have in mind.
Well,
There is light here. Do you see it? A few yards up,
flickering fire.
you can see this. No, there's no fire.
I'm just checking.
There's the walls are like bioluminescent. Green and purple and red.
Closer inspection, is it fungus? Is it plants?
It looks distinctly like
probably flesh.
organs
Oh, good. Yeah. Fair enough.
What
that
part
are
of
shining
cathedral
through
of
skin.
flesh?
You two can see two pairs of eyes off further down the cave in the distance, and forms attached to them. Skinny, long-limbed forms with legs that bend backwards and arms that almost touch the floor.
He has
Oh, I
to.
can see.
All right, you two then.
We're not certain. We're certain now.
That
These
didn't take
things-
those in question.
Come forward, and there's this warp of static as particles of floating skin move in between the heads of these two creatures, and you get that feeling like you licked a battery, that electric tinge and pain in your head. And they come forward and open their hands wide while facing each other, creating a form of entryway or space that you could pass between the two of them.
I walk between them.
They open their arms wide so that you can pass between them.
Do Dracula.
As you're walking, one of them moves in such a way that he can stay in front of you and lead you. Another one moves in such a way that he would stay behind. And you walk further, and the light brightens and reveals writhing skin and veins, limbs that hang from the ceiling like stalactites, walkways made from vertebrae and ribs. There's numerous tunnels and chambers, all this dizzying, energetic, puddling mix of bodies. You would become lost if it weren't for your escorts. They lead you forward into a tunnel that has long veins and arteries running along its length, and sphincter-like portals that open and quiver as you enter. Mouths along the walls that gape, and eyes bloodshot that stare at you. One of these great valves is like the valve of a heart, and before it, two twisted, mighty warriors, beasts, bristle with bone blades extending from their bodies in obtuse and unbelievable angles. The servant at the front of your group licks and darts out its tongue, touching the soft places on the beast's flesh to placate them. Vlad seems practically delighted by all of this. The great valve opens to reveal a great chamber with a pinnacle of bones and sinew and chitinous flesh bending and writhing downward as it changes continually from bone to flesh to wolf-like face to eagle's wing, continually changing and altering and sinking downwards and roiling itself into a bubble-like egg that grows and bends itself, bursting to one side, where an old man wrapped with a simple cloth apron around his waist and a gnarled stick as his crutch Dracula. Dracula steps forth, bows down, puts his knee on the ground. Lord Yorak. When his knee hits the ground, there's this sucking sound as his knee, sinks into the flesh and loose blood pooling on the ground around you guys. The whole chamber quivers and shakes, and mouths lick their lips and gnash their teeth around you. Fingernails quiver.
I will kneel down beside him. And while doing so, I want a drop of this blood to understand what it is.
Okay.
I believe... because it's just a spell, I'm pretty sure it's just my willpower. It's going to be on page... Too many pages now. We want that one, 301. Well, maybe not. So I've got a 9 so far. Alright, I get to learn something.
Something, huh?
Yeah, one success as I rolled.
He kneels down on one side, I kneel down on the other. Cardboard cutout Emmy duds as well.
Sure.
This is her client Elder.
I bow respectfully, but I'm not going to kneel.
Yeah, is this mortal of vampiric blood?
This is vampiric blood.
Vampires of a higher station than us?
I dare say.
Some of all. How many names do I have to put on my list? Does it now have 1 out of 2 on?
What do you mean?
On bonds.
Oh, you're not bonded.
No.
Oh.
I have a bond whenever I do that. So half a bond.
Okay.
It was a joke, but I know they're there.
Yorak opens his arms wide, and Vlad stands up and begins trudging through the brackish fluid towards him. You can hear this low hum that is not vocalization, but almost like the grinding of a joint moving through the room, echoing through the mountain. Vlad continues trudging towards Yorak. Yorak's arms slowly descend upon his shoulders. He opens his mouth as Yorak's fangs extend 1, 2, 3, 4 inches downward as his mouth opens like some twisted snake and turn against the nature of his skull. And you can see, illuminated by the light glowing from these unseen mounds of flesh, the fangs pierce Vlad's neck, and blood quickly runs down his chin and strikes the ground. And as soon as it strikes the ground, there's this flurry of motion as mouths extended on the ends of hands, mouths from the midst of veins, mouths connected to wings and atavistic organs come from every direction and latch themselves onto Yorak. They come screaming towards you. Is what do you do? 5, 4, 3,
Dodge.
2, 1. You're dodge. Roll.
4 and 1, so 766.
766. You've dodged. You hear Vlad yell. What do you do?
Run straight towards Vlad and drag him, or try to grab him and pull him back, and say, "I don't think that's supposed to happen."
Okay, you run up towards Vlad and grab him. You see Vlad like windmilling back out of the way. So he, like, his windmilling arm probably grabs yours as you're reaching out.
Pull him away.
You pull him away, and he does a slingshot move and keeps like hoofing it the other direction.
Yeah.
One of these things is coming at you though.
Dodge.
You took your action,
Okay.
simplifying things a little bit. You can take 2 lethal damage. You can soak it.
How does armor work again?
As you said.
It finds its way around it because it's a vicissitude mouth that sinks its way past your armor.
Okay.
For simplicity's sake.
One, 2, 3. I soak it.
Okay. You could probably like grab the mouth to pressing it towards you to keep it from being able to sink its teeth in, and just rip the mouth away from whatever tendril of skin that it was connected to. What are you doing? Leifar.
I already said I'm dodging.
Okay, go for it.
I'm gonna reflexively spend 2 points of blood for Dex.
All right.
Six successes.
6 successes will get you freer than motherfucker. You do not get bitten. You can look back and see that these things are just tearing at Yorak. These fanged mouths are ripping pieces off of him. He's like reaching out and just undoing them as they come his way. His hands are just like fingers moving through sand, tearing these things apart, and they just keep coming. You can see his blood dripping from countless wounds that just start appearing everywhere upon him. He takes this unbelievable Zulu form, this hulking monstrosity filled with dozens of arms and fangs and wings, and still it just continues. What do you do?
Is he still just mainly focusing on attacking these things that are biting him?
Absolutely.
Okay. As long as I'm not under threat, I will continue to
You're
watch.
absolutely under threat.
All right. Then I am moving away from threat.
Okay. What are you doing?
I am spending some blood to reflexively adopt the Typhonic Avatar. And I'm hot on blood's heels.
Okay. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just dodging.
You just stay there and dodge, or you're going to leave?
Well, I mean, I move far enough back I can still see what's happening.
So you want to stay there and dodge? Okay, go for it.
Six again.
So you can stand there and watch. You didn't think that these things would be capable of speech, but they're saying his name. Yorak. 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 In a billion different voices. Hundreds, thousands of voices. And they are eating him. The valve to the room shuts behind you, and the room that you're in is instantly flooded with bile. And you're slammed against the wall. Give me a soak roll against 3 dice here. You're fine. You took 2 bashing damage. So, boom, up against the wall. Same for you.
Okay.
And I will
Two
roll again.
becomes
So
one.
just two becomes 1, so you're fine.
I'm sure I soak it.
How many dice you got?
Not including armor?
Yeah.
And I actually have more than that.
You're fine. Yeah, you don't have to roll that. We can just say you're successful.
What happened to Vlad? Did he pull him out?
Yeah, Vlad's gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Vlad's first one out of the room.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
was hot on his heels.
What do you do? You're effectively underwater.
Yeah, but I don't breathe.
Yeah, I know.
Shit.
You hesitate. What do you do?
Yeah.
Where's blood now?
Roll perception and alertness.
Perception. Awareness. 9, 9, 7, 5.
He, like, you can see a form over this way that is like doing this.
Like trying to swim in the bile.
You want to go over there?
Yeah.
Vlad has his sword at the other end of this little cavern way that has a sphincter on the far side that's keeping all of this bile in here, and he's trying to cut the sphincter open.
Oh, I'm gonna tear at it. I'm gonna celerity and tear at it.
Between the two of you, the thing vomits open, and just all of this bile comes shooting out of this thing, and you guys are just blah, thrown up into the next room. What do you do?
I'm still dodging and waiting to see what happens here.
Okay, you can dodge again.
Only 5 successes this time.
Still good enough. This panorama of violence and destruction and feeding continues. By now, Yorak, in his massive form, has generous streams, as in creeks of blood, just pouring out of him. Unbelievable amounts of blood pouring out of him. It's like it's getting to be about knee high. What do you do?
At this point, we're in another room.
Yeah,
Or the hallway. Is there another
Like a-
sphincter on the other side at this point, blocking us?
It's open.
Okay. Let's get out.
You run that way. What do you do?
With 7 strength, can I pick somebody up over one shoulder in Typhonic Avatar form?
Yeah, but Vlad's fucking gone.
Okay.
His bitch ass. He hit the ground running.
All right. I'm not worried about Vlad. I'm using celerity to make my speed tremendously faster for the scene and pick up Jakub and chase after.
Well,
Vlad.
that's probably a wise thing to do.
Yeah.
So,
What are you doing?
is there any opening at all in this
I hope you don't
sphincter
mind.
that they went through? Can I see any gaps? Any?
The valve oscillates. It'll open and close. It's probably opened twice since all of this has happened.
Okay. I am going to drop into mist form, and I'm going to spend 2 blood to accelerate it, and go through the opening.
Okay.
Emmy is drinking the Elder's blood.
Don't put that on her. Let her. Don't put that on her.
Don't put that evil on me, buddy.
Don't put that on her.
And then once I'm through the valve, I look for where they've gone, and
It's kind of one directional.
It's multi-directional, but they're all going in the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty soon, like, there's this torrent, this flood of blood and brackish bile that just starts catching up and, like, pushing you further and further up out of these tunnels. And by the end of it, you guys can hear. Well, not by the end of it. By the time this happened, by the time he goes to mist or whatever, you guys can hear these voices yelling Yorak, 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 in thousands of different voices. And then, as you're finally pressed and massaged and forced and jutted and vomited and squished forward out into the cave opening, they all call out together in one voice. Kupala. And the earth itself begins to shudder. And those cones of ash all along the countryside begin spouting flame. Tiberiu is just like huddled, like in amidst the horses, you know, like just you could tell he's using every bit of his willpower to keep from running.
Landing out of this mess of bile.
You need to roll for Rorschach right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you're rolling your courage.
Okay.
I guess a difficulty of 10.
Okay. No.
All right. This rivals the Abyss. Mm-hmm. The Abyss, this is not some unknown ethereal spiritual realm. This is the punctuation and the birth of pure evil in God's creation. Rorschach.
Courage, you said?
Rorschach, sorry. I'm saying it wrong.
Rorschach.
Yeah. Courage. I have
Difficulty 10.
Nope. I got a 9, but
Woohoo! I made it.
to start with. Then change
I
on
had a
what
9
I say.
out of 10.
Coming out of this torrent of disgust.
I'm floating along the surface of the bile.
No, yeah.
The whole King
like
Apple Beach
hands and
drops you.
knees on the ground, vomiting up the extra bile and disgusting blood that had been probably drinking that whole fun time.
That's after I drop you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you guys are
I mean, I don't think you held me on
guys-
that.
You guys have just lost it. What do you want to do?
I kind of float out into the middle of the field in front of the cave and watch to see what happens. Where are they going?
They run.
They're running?
They run down the mountain. When they start running, Tiberius starts running too.
And these things are just belching flame. And... Okay, I'll float after him, and actually, I'll once I'm a little ways along, I'll spend 1 point of blood and slowly morph into a raven and then fly after him.
After several hours, Tiberius manages to get the horses together, and after getting himself together, and slowly, one by one, picks all of you up. He refuses to speak.
I know how it feels.
So the horses with the carriage ran too, I assume? As you guys are gathering around the carriage, I sort of float down and land on top of the carriage in a flutter, still in raven form. Well now. I don't know what that was all about, but that cathedral apparently decided it really wanted to eat Yorick.
There were many vampires in there. That wasn't obvious. It was made of them.
Yes, but at the end it spoke with one voice. Do you think it's possible that the cathedral itself is a creature?
Oh, that's what
one
I say.
entity.
I think it's many creatures.
One entity
it's
that
one.
has melded itself from the bodies of many others.
I don't know. Demons like that are beyond our understanding. At least mine.
I don't think any fruit will be born from debating or discussing the nature of that.
Did you see Vlad up in the air?
Didn't he carry it come out?
Who's carrying him?
Oh, he was carrying him. Did I see Vlad anywhere? No. I can go back and check.
I know he was in front of me.
Roll animal cannon perception.
Only one success.
One of the horses is missing.
I turned to Tiberius. Do you account for all your horses? I sort of ruffle my feathers and fly up into the air and see if I can see anything in the surrounding area.
These hours gone now on a horse that is not burdened by pulling a carriage.
You got there that much ahead of us? I didn't realize it had been that long.
Well, yeah, after a couple of hours, the horses were finally calmed down.
No, I'm talking about Vlad. Tiberius is still here. Vlad was with you guys.
Everybody ran off.
Yeah.
And this is hours later down the road.
And he's suggesting that he has much faster to go. So.
Okay.
His fate is in his own hands now. We did what was asked of us.
I land once again. There was no sign of it.
Word of this must go back to Radu and to Restovich? Whatever. Yeah.
Rostovich.
Vladimir Rustokovich.
It would seem he is now clan elder.
I don't even know what to.
Climb up on the seat beside our gangrel friend. Come on then, I want to put as much distance in between us and that place as possible before dawn.
I'll fly ahead. I'm going to keep scouting the terrain, looking for any sign. In all directions, not just our path. Any way down off the mountain.
Several days later, upon arriving back at Tehuta Pass, Radu hears at least the first parts of this tale and reveals to you a letter sent by messenger from Lord Dracula. A letter covered in blood, written in blood, describing how it remains to be seen whether he, Lord Dracula, will join with your kind. But if so, it will not be done in this way, but on his own terms. And that he values that Lord Radu and Lord Pax, Lord Jakub, and Lord Lefar, and Lady Emmeline protected him during these trying times, and that he did indeed owe you a debt.
That was not what I expected to happen. How does Radu take the news of his apparently the death of his clan elder?
He retires to his chambers and doesn't speak that night.
Can't say as I blame him.
Who wants to do goals? Or desires? Now you got me all backwards, you guys.
I'm so used to that being goals.
I know.
You changed it,
I changed it.
which is great.
Help defend my weaker friends from the anarch attack.
Sure, yeah. Hell yeah.
Further discuss the masquerade. We do. Share some of my knowledge that I've gained from my readings.
Yeah, there's a whole big segue about that. Pax.
Pax wanted to survive the attack on the convocation.
Then some.
Yeah. And deliver Dracula safely to B Streets.
Mm-hmm.
And talk to people about the good news of Michael in the
Oh,
dream.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jacob.
Escape with Dracula Unchained.
Unchained? What does that mean?
Make sure Dracula's not anyone else's pawn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That totally sounds like the name of a game or a movie.
What was that movie, Dracula
Yes.
Untold, a couple of years ago? That was actually not a bad movie. It was pretty good.
Dracula
What else
Unchained.
you got?
Learn more about the Canine Heresy. No. Break any chains to buy my Wiltshire. No, I feel like I somehow got changed today.
Well, you were trying to break that chain.
You were.
Chain.
You're yanking away from it.
Yeah, you. That was part of the story for sure.
Yeah.
Chain of fools. So, any hints for next time, so we can come up with appropriate desires that will fit the narrative, or do you just want to come up with something general?
Well, the whole purpose of the desires is
No,
is for you guys to input.
Yeah,
stuff into the story.
I get that, but it's a lot better when we kind of got a basic framework of where we're going. I'm just. Unless you don't want to say, if you don't want to say, that's cool.
You're just a dog chasing cars. Wouldn't know what to do with one if you caught it.
I think the desires are better when they're self-determined things that you're trying to add into the story.
Okay.
A couple things I want to do.
But that being said, I'm not going to hide what the next thing is because the next thing is the Convention of Thorns.
Chain of fools.
I just want to say that other part first.
Yeah, that's not what
Please
it's
don't
about.
put a bunch of generic, Convention of Thorns desires. But I'm also not going to hide that the next thing we're doing is the Convention of Thorns.
We've been talking about this for months, sir.
Months my ass. Years, sir. Years, sir.
You still recording?
Yeah,
Post game conversations.
we do it. It happens.
Yeah.
It's part of the game in a way. In a big way, actually.
Yeah. It is that.
That was pretty brutal, right?
Yeah, man. Cathedral of Flesh.
It's just messed up, right?
Yeah.
What would you expect from like the stronghold of the Smeetsy power? I mean, come on, really? Did you expect anything less?
You know, I was wondering if it was actually the
Like, let's be real honest. Most people are expecting less. Let's be real honest.
for a minute there.
Because most people are expecting like a building made out of people. And that is not a building made out of people. It's a small city made out of vampires. Yeah.
Yeah, that was grosser than being inside Iselia's husk.
Let's put it
You
this
know
way.
what I'm talking about.
If you keep playing Bloodlines, you get to the part where you go to the Smeetsy's mansion.
Mm-hmm.
The entire inside is like flesh crafted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a dude's house.
That's just a dude's house.
Gross.
Like from the outside, it just looks like a house. You go inside, and there's like rib cages and blood vessels and
Oh yeah, dude.
things.
My first live action character had a pool table made out of people. And it had little mouths that ate the pool balls and shit. Pool balls were made out of like joints, like femur joints.
Oh. Gross.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'll take that old clan Shinichi any day.
Cathedral of flesh that just diablerized one of the elders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that vicissitude shit, man. Oof.
Wiggity whack.
Who do you even blame, except for, demons?
No wonder Lord Balsa is not all about that flesh crafting. He's like, what has happened to my clan?
I mean,
Guys,
the flesh crafting wasn't the problem.
come on. Really? Cathedral of flesh? Whatever happened to like a normal tomb, Creepy castles? What's wrong with creepy castles?
Yeah,
I
we
like
love
creepy
castles.
castles. Who doesn't love a creepy castle? No, you got all this, weird winding tunnels of blood and viscera with, intestinal tracts and sphincters, and I don't think that's where your spleen goes, sir. Your duodenum appears to be badly dislocated by meters and meters. It should be way over there. That's not right. Yeah. Ew.
It's a shame Tosh missed that.
She'd have dug it.
She would have done it.
Yeah. That's right. She can listen to it.
Yeah, she can listen to it at least.
She's tired. She's had a long week.
Yeah, I know what it's like to not get sleep. So,
Yeah.
and it's just a game too. It shouldn't be a burden.
No. Why didn't we get the traditional closing music?
Because Cathedral of Flesh just diablerized your act. That's why.
Okay. That's fair.
That was almost like a season finale right there, man.
Season finale gets different closing credits music.
That's right.
It's like the stunned silence at the end.
Yeah.
It's like when you get when you know the show's got like 5 minutes left and you don't think they're gonna make it,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh shit, and then then those to be continued comes up. You're like, no.
Yeah, man. When you ask what I do, I'm like, a living cathedral is eating the clan elder of the Shimesi. What do you think I do? I run like hell.
I'm just checking in.
Yeah. I'm gonna hang out and see what happens.
Well, he did.
Because he can turn to mist and just get away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got a sort of a get out of jail
Yeah.
free card in that
Right.
regard.
Yeah. I almost stayed, but it was like, I'm fucked if I'm stuck here, so I mean.
Yeah, if I was you, I wouldn't.
You
have
know
stayed
what?
there.
I would go latch onto that guy and drink his heart's blood. There we go.
That was a possibility.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Would have been-
Then get
too
out.
happy
Good
about
luck.
that.
I don't think the Cathedral of Flesh would have let it happen.
Well, I think to think that there would not be a reaction would be folly.
Yeah. You need to have a lot of soak in order for that to happen.
Oh yeah.
And considering that dude had way more soak than any of us, and he died, yeah,
That
that
thing.
yeah, he would have diablerized him and survived for about another 5
You know,
seconds.
and you know what the really scary thought about all that is? The Cathedral of Flesh itself is now a 4th generation vampire.
Yeah. How does a Cathedral of Flesh earn XP? What are your desires, Cathedral of Flesh?
NPCs don't need XP.
No, I know. So what is your character concept? I'm playing the Cathedral of Flesh.
What would you like to do?
I hang out in a
Blar.
cave. I hang out in a cave, and if somebody comes in, I eat them.
I'm a honey trap. Now, how are you a honey trap? That's what I want to know.
Pretty lousy.
Blood
one.
trap.
I see the trap, where's the honey?
Yeah, there ain't no honey here.
No, you just promise like forbidden knowledge. You'll have all sorts of guys like Jakub coming in there and you can snack on them. Come on in, snack pack. I got some good arcane books for you.
No, I'm pretty sure I got a better library at home.
Nah.
My neighbor, my friend, she has a great library. And then me, I've collected my own library.
No, there's always a better library, I feel like.
There's always a better library.
Always. That's
All
a
right,
rule.
my friends. Next time, Convention of Thorns.
Convention of Thorns. Go.